boarding, and they're the points on the left and all that money on the right. You do need a PhD, Richo, to work it all out, but it comes down to about 3.7 for Bella.
It's just incredible. 3.7 million. Why would she stop? Because she's just in the form of her life. I just caught up with Gab Nutt before, who does a lot of work for Kieran. I think she just shakes her head and says, this girl just relishes.
Bella Nipotina here, Bruce. So 280 on Wednesday when this race went final field, and she's been a good firmer. 250 today when I arrived at the races, now $2.30, and she holds bang on 50% of the overall investment in this race. Sunshine in Paris, $4.60. That's been pretty.
If she can do something no one's done, win an Everest and the winners. Here we go.
Private Eye jumped really well off the inside. So did Bella Nipotina going forward. IMB, and now Coal Crusher is slicing through the pack looking for the leader. Lady Laguna right behind them. Then came King of Sparta from Marzua. Further back to Fierce and Sunshine in Paris rocketing by. 3 lengths away to Flying Crazy. It's Coal Crusher. Really been declared on here by IMB. And the two of them go hard in the lead. Bella Nipotina 2 lengths away third. On the outside of Private Eye. Big start. And Flying Crazy last of all. It's Coal Crusher and IMA. They've really declared each other on, and Bella's in a stalking roll. Bella Nipotina 2 lengths away third. Then came Private Eyes. They straighten up. Coal Crusher, IMA. Now Bella Nipotina starting to run after the 2 leaders. Further back, Lady Laguna running well. Private Eye in a pocket, and then came King of Sparta. Bella Nipotina takes the lead of the 200, and Bella Nipotina draws 2 lengths clear now from Lady Laguna. Sunshine in Paris, but this is a big payday for the Iron Lady. Bella Nipotina winning the Russell Balding comfortably. Sunshine in Paris second, third Lady Laguna. Then came Private Eye Marzu. Further back, Flying Crazy, King of Sparta, I Am Me. Next in on the today takes Bella Nipotina to the 2nd highest stakes earner ever in Australian racing.
And that's the big ticket item, isn't it, Lizzie? I mean, that's the big story. $22 million in the bank. She won with so much authority. It was a brilliant ride. She had the race won.
Bella Nipotina just continues to roll on. 7 years old, 56th career start. She takes out yesterday's Russell Balding Stakes, the race she was favourite in. Quinny, she is now the 2nd highest prize money earner in Australian racing history.
She's an absolute champion, and for whatever reason, I don't feel she gets the fanfare or attention she deserves, and I don't know why. Is it because she's sort of built into her career where a lot of the absolute superstars that we've associated with in the past have just gone bang, bang, bang from day dot, or have put together these lengthy winning streaks? But for whatever reason, she's like a fine wine. She just keeps on getting better. And to think that 12 months ago, after a few luckless performances behind Imperatrice, it was likely she was going to be retired. Well, since that point in time, she's shot the lights out. I think she's the best sprinter in the world, and it's great just to see her. And again, from a betting perspective, we got 260.
She's a beauty.
You wanted to be on her a long way out, didn't you, Willow? Just one out, one back, just smoking. He was waiting and waiting so long. She is a licence to print money, isn't she?
Yeah, 1 3/4.
With a healthy dose of doubt, a $10 million race for 4-year-olds, the only one of its kind, with a stunning trophy to him.
The Japanese stallion bombed them of Anburamine, my goodness!
But from the outset, the Golden Eagle has been a stunning success. A race already with an impressive honour roll. Each year,
That's right, Bruce. Lazat unbeaten. This was a target race for his trainer. And of course, having a look at this mare, we've spoken at length about how well credentialed the Japanese are. They sent one horse, Oban Buramai, who was able to win last year's edition. And now this year, they're sending a mare with arguably better credentials, Ascoli Pacino. She has to contest with a wide draw, but is her quality and done beating Growing Empire, that lovely strong finish on him. He's always turned out nice. He's
Epsom and fourth in the King Charles that comes through the Group 1 mile and has run really, really well. Jamie Carr's had the key to it.
Lizzie's about to cast her eye over the unbeaten Lazat from France.
Lazat, I'm going to actually jog to keep up with this unbeaten galloper, and you can see how beautifully turned out this horse is. He's got great credentials. I think that this is the one that we're going to see go forward. I can't say anything negative about the way that he parades.
William Haggis has got a remarkable record in Australia. Lizzie, what about Lake Forest?
big. He's quite a neat individual. I was quite surprised walking alongside him that he doesn't possess a lot of strength, even though he's got a lot of quality there. But look, I think he certainly ticks a lot of boxes as far as his form is concerned. Probably not as big a quality as what we've seen from maybe Lazat and the Japanese mare, but.
And then you run 32.7 for the last 600 when you resume in the shorts. An absolute eye-catch.
Mac with Chris Waller, probably our #1 seed from Australia, Jolly Star, do you think, Lizzie?
Form-wise, definitely. She should have, I arguably think she should have been. I have really wanted to see Ascoli Pacino. She's the mare from Japan with wonderful credentials to her name. She's a Group 3 mile winner last time out. This is a horse that they've said Joe Moreira has been really keen to ride. And as far as looks are concerned, she's an absolute beast. She's still got a fair bit of...
Indeed, and Bruce, this is a massive plunge on the favourite, Ascoli Pacino. So after the barrier draw on Wednesday, she was as much as $5, and at that point, Jolly Star was favourite. Now, when I got to the races this morning, she was $4.40. I can tell you, in the last 20 minutes, she's been $4.40 to $3.30. The amount of money it takes to firm one when we're holding so much is incredible. This is a massive go on the Japanese mare. Lazat $5.50, very solid. Jolly Star's been easy. Steffi the futures market's open. This is an incredible go in such a big race.
And even Bella...
And they're racing. Macarena jumped particularly well wide out, and a striker being sent forward. War Machine is whipping right up on the inside, then Port Lockroy handy, and going forward is V8 in the early part, and Lizette's pushing forward as well. This is a tremendous go for the lead, and the French horse Lizette looking for the lead and getting it now from War Machine, V8, a striker, and Macarena is caught pretty wide early. Then came Tom Kitten, who's pushing through along the rails into a prominent roll early. Then came Zadaki deeper out going forward. Corazon Beach right off the track. They're followed by Kintyre, then Jolly Star from Port Lockroy, NCAP. Further back in the field to Cray. Now Ascoli Pacino's on a wide path, about 6th or 7th class at this point. Well back then is Griff, followed by Steffi Magnetic, a Lake Forest Cry Sayor. Well back is Sky Bird, and Southport Tycoon is last. It's Lazat really being tested by Macarena. V8 in a prominent role, followed by War Machine. Tom Kitten back on the rails. Then came a striker from Corazon Beat. Kintyre held up. Now Steffi Magnetic is taking a rails run. Ascoli Pacino still third last. It's Lazat and Macarena knuckling it out of the furlong. Macarena testing Lazat. Now Tom Kitten starting to run on. Macarena in front. Steffi Magnetic is getting a gap. And Tom Kitten launching. Lake Forest bursting home on the rails. Lake Forest. William Haggis has done it again. Lake Forest got up to nail, I think, Lazat and Tom Kitten on the wire. Then Steffi Magnetica, followed by Macarena, Southport Tycoon, War Machine, NCAP Griff, Port Lockroy, Jolly Star, Sky Bird, Ascoli Star, Sky Bird, Ascoli Pacino from Kintyre, for Lake Forest.
Yes, Lake Forest, and William Haggis continues this love affair. And for young Kieran Fallon, I mean, he was a mile back in the field, was Lake Forest, and he's been able to come with a charging run.
What about the ride? Let's have a look at this. We can see the overhead shot. You can see where Kieran Fallon is. He's back, so far back, and he's just plotted a path, saved all the ground on the inside. Oh, there's quite a significant bump there in the conclusion.
Thrilled for you and William. Describe the last 200 metres to me.
I mean, we knew he has an explosive turn of foot. If you watch some of his other races, you know, he's so fast towards the end, and that was kind of, you know, Kieran has ridden that so beautifully, and that was the plan, you know, sit back, let them all kill themselves in front and come through to finish. But a really brave ride from Kieran, and oh my God, how exciting.
What about the discussion
of his horse? Richo referenced that Lake Forest hadn't been beyond 1,200 metres, so he needed to make sure that he was stronger at the end of his race. Now Steffi...
It means there's plenty of gaps.
And it's what happened with Oban Boomerang last year. They fanned and he got through. So a common denominator goes inside. Steffi goes for the gap. It's not there. It closes. And look at him charge. He absolutely... And then goes bang into Lazat, who was incredible in his own way, and Tom Kitten. And
watching him and hoping and, you know, making some luck, some lady luck for him. Well, his sister, Brittany Fallon, was Stefano's partner. And I know...
Stefano's a young jockey that
passed away. Yeah. So that's why this victory, not only because it's with William Haggis, who he's been apprenticed to, but also because...
Feature yesterday, the Golden Eagle. Well, speaking of licences to print money, if William Haggis brings a horse to Sydney for a big race, get yourself involved. Lake Forest was quite the price, but considering what he's done with the likes of Adayab and Dubai Honour in the Queen Elizabeth and the Ramvid in recent years, we shouldn't have been surprised at what Kieran Fallon was able to do on Lake Forest. Back towards the inside, Darren Flindell, Matty only really picking him up in the call in the last 50 metres, and rightly so, because he wasn't in the conversation 100 metres out.
It was a spectacular performance, wasn't it? You love seeing horses do that. But a training performance, Ollie, this horse hadn't seen past 6 furlongs before yesterday.
Yeah, brilliant ride. And as you said, you can't underestimate Willie Haggis's horses when he brings them to Sydney. His strike rate's phenomenal. But I've got a little bug with this race. I think 20 runners is too many for 1,500 at Rose Hill. You know, if this trend continues, like the last few years has been bad interference in it every year, and you're going to see a serious accident. I just think 20 runners for $10 million is too much for the 1,500 at Rose Hill. I think they need to bring it back to 16.
We had 2 protests yesterday, so Steffi Magnetica 5th protesting against second place Lazat, and then Lazat protested against Lake Forest as well. They were both dismissed, but there was as hefty a fines as we've seen coming out of this race with regards to some of the interferences and breaches.
Reminded me of riding in the Golden Slipper back in the 90s. It was just carnage.
There wasn't 10 mil on the line in that.
No, but it kind of felt like there was, yeah. It was probably similar to back those days, but yeah, and you saw horses like Jolie.
Racing for that much prize money, and there's only fines on offer as deterrents. It's not really going to stop you doing everything to win the race, is it?
Haven't seen fines like that for some time. You know, I'm sure that's obviously going to deter a little bit. I thought the winner got off was certainly a bit harshly dealt by, and the French jockey I thought caused as much interference. He got fined 30, and Kieran on the winner got fined 100. So I thought they was sort of bad as one another, but pretty close to the line there. And Zach.
Since markets have opened, so it's been a good push on a big day. 235, and he's the one they have to beat. Canara, the best backed outside of him, and is holding nice and solid now. So
7 for the week, and Derby Day is underway. And King of Enterprise began fairly, and Aliana's drifting back towards the end. Acton on Verba, as expected, broke well and led by a length and a quarter. Another profit, and there's Feroce on the outside. About a length, and then came Stylish Secret, and last of all is Aliana. So as they reach the 800 marker, and it's Acton on Verba by 2 lengths Feroce, and they were followed by Canara, another profit, tucked away, having an economical run. A couple of lengths, King of Enterprise, Stylish Secret, and Aliana has to pass them all. Around the home corner in the Carbine Club, 600 metres to run. Acton on Verba being cuddled in front by a length and a half to Feroce, yet to be called upon. Then came Canara the outside from another profit, trying to get away from the rails. Stylish Secret still 3 off the leaders, running on fairly well, and Aliana right down the centre of the course. It's Feroce going to the lead. 300 metres to go from another profit, trying to wear it down, and here comes Aliana from last, right down the centre of the track at the 150. Aliana took over, kicked away 2 or 3 lengths in front, and it's all over Aliana, and it's a big start for J-Mac. Aliana 3 lengths, another profit. Feroce, Stylish Secret, King of Enterprise. Then came Canara, and at the tail of the field was Acton on Verba after leading.
He's ridden this filly before. He knows the turn of foot that she possesses.
Couple who'd come via the Renadald Allen, but she looked to really enjoy the fact that she could balance up out to 1,600 and onto a bigger track.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a bit of a form line that's starting to come through. These Sydney up-and-coming horses coming to this race starting to really come to the fore. Some of the horses perhaps coming out of the Guineas maybe had a bit of a grand final there, coming back to this race, probably a little bit disadvantaged, but that was a comprehensive win there, and I thought that was probably I like that race better going towards.
Come for Aliana. Good Sort. Aliana won the first. So $8 into $5 now. Good Sort. James McDonald will sit back midfield, you reckon. Similar ride. And burst late. Zetang, can this horse run 1,400? The market says yes, $8 to $6. Now, there is 14 cents deductions out of this race. Matisse, good support since markets open. 12.
They're ready. Gates are back and they're racing. Good Sort away fairly, dragged back to the end. Two down, Lizzie broke well with out deeper on the course, Corianagi. Also Dominator kicking up, and I Am Velvet Matisse behind those horses, followed by the Bolter Fluent, who's midfield on the rails. Next in the field out deeper is Lovely Cut, and then came Zaitung, More Territories, Good Sort. Good Sort's bailed away on the fence. GG's Mistruth as well back, and Benagil at the end. So I Am Velvet looked for a breather, came around the corner at the 500 metres by about a length and a quarter. Corianagi, two down, Lizzie. They were followed by between horses Dominator and Lovely Cut the outside. Matisse is starting to slide into it, and Good Sort still bailed away on the fence. It's I Am Velvet at the 250. Matisse is challenging strongly though. Matisse goes to the lead from Lovely Cut, who's kicking, and then came Zaitung down the centre. Matisse 100 to go. Zaitung is wearing her down though. Zaitung stomped up, and Zaitung will win it. Zaitung first from a photo. Matisse Dominator, then another photo. Lovely Cut and Benagil. Next in the field, GG's Mistruth, More Territories, Good Sort, two down. Tung, Mark Zara for James Cummings has sprinted over the top of them and has gained the day by about a length and a quarter from a photo. Matisse will get that ahead of Dominator, and a further photo for
performance. And they're on the board. Zaitung, Mark Zara's on the board. Day earlier this year, won by Grinzinger Bell. We saw her in the Empire Rose yesterday. Now it's been pushed into this part of the calendar, obviously to provide a lead up for the fillies a fortnight away from the reprogrammed 1,000 Guineas. And, well, if they decide to go there, you feel like Zaitung for Godolphin is going to be a key player.
Looks like it, doesn't it? It's a nice win there, nice ride by Mark Zara. Just got a perfect cart trail into it. I wasn't taken by James McDonald's ride on Good Sort there. I think he locked himself away to the inside, even though it probably didn't hit the line as strong. I just thought he committed too much to the inside and probably didn't get its best chance to hit the line.
When you're looking ahead to a fortnight.
And the tips throughout some of our shows. Good luck to you. You're back a nice winner there. Now, Will opened up favourite over Jimmy here, the stablemates, but it's Jimmy Star. $3.40 into $2.60 where the push is. Why? It's the way the track's playing today. It's not really suiting leaders. He'll sit back, Jimmy Star, midfield. Good on you, Amy. We're all with you too with another Will. All the very best to the McKenna family with your runner here. Vale, the great man, Cole. Jimmy Star, though, they're coming for the stablemate of another Will. 2:35 on a Saturday's a good go. Nicolini Vito.
Starter happy now, gates crash and they're away. Another Will jumped very well from the inside draw, and Stapati began quickly. Also the Astrologist Not an Option and Tamerlane show speed. Another Will back to fifth from Mighty Ulysses, Jimmy Star. Then Age of the 800 metres. So the leader, the Astrologist, by 3/4 of a length tries to get a bit of a breather before the corner from Not an Option, and then came Stapati, who's had a nice trail. Another Will fourth the inside from Tamerlane, over a length away Mighty Ulysses, Age of Kings. Then came Jimmy Star with 9 lengths to pick up. Ripcord well back, Nicolini Vito and Laws of Indices. So the Astrologist at the 400 metres with Not an Option. Here's Stapati letting loose on the outside. Another Will needs a run behind them. Then Tamerlane, Age of Kings and Jimmy Star wide out. Stapati went to the front at the 250. From Tamerlane back to the inside, another Will, and Jimmy Star late. Another Will darts back on the inside at the 100. Jimmy Star's flashing, but another Will's clear. A win that means so much. Another Will by a length and a quarter. Jimmy Star second from Stapati, followed by Tamerlane, and behind them Nicolini Vito. Then Age of Kings, Mighty Ulysses, Ripcord, the Astrologist, Laws of Indices, and at the tail, Not an Option. Another Will, Jamie Carr for Kieran Maher, with Cole McKenna riding on Jamie's shoulder. And those famous colours, the green and blue salute. But this will be an emotional moment for jockey Jamie Carr and trainer Kieran Maher. A length and a quarter by...
Pretty special, just to have a lot of Cole's family and friends are in the horse. That's why he loves racing. He bred it. You know, he's no more passionate person, and great mate, great mentor, and yeah, he would just love to be here today. But I'm sure he's looking down, and pretty special. I thought he'd run back to form, and yeah, Janice was watching on at Woolthorpe, so yeah, all the best to you, and yeah, great job by the team. Yeah, you know, he was sadly missed, and I'm sure next Friday there'll be a lot of people there celebrating his life.
It's put a lot of
very much.
Yeah, really emotional, Kieran Moan, rightly so. I mean, just an amazing...
This is just for Cole. He was just the best person. Ask anyone in the industry. Oh, God. I don't... Fucking hell. Sorry. It just means the world. God, it doesn't feel real that he's not here.
No, it doesn't. Oh, super.
It doesn't feel real, but...
Another Will and Jimmy Star, another Will coming back from being beaten favourite in a run in the Toorak that I think for most people you had to be perhaps a little bit forgiving of, given the circumstances that took place in that race. It was hard to knock what Jimmy Star has done through his preparation so far, vaulting off that 1,100 metre win fresh at Caulfield to then his 1,400 metre triumph in the Weekend Hustler. But another Will gave everybody a reminder of his class, why he started favourite in a Doncaster yesterday to find himself in a fairly precarious position halfway up the straight and then be extricated as Jamie Carr's about to.
On the outside, another Will needs a run behind them. Then Tamerlane, Age of Kings and Jimmy Star wide out. Stapati went to the front at the 250. From Tamerlane back to the inside, another Will. And Jimmy Star late, another Will. Darts back on the inside at the 100. Jimmy Star's flashing, but another Will's clear. A win that means so much. Another Will by a length and a quarter. Jimmy Star second from Stapati, followed by Tamerlane.
Jimmy Star was in the spot you probably needed to be yesterday given how the Northerly was playing.
Yeah, well, they both had nice cover, and you could see another Will was a little bit held up, but then when he got the run through, he burst through beautifully, and you could see, I think he really appreciated getting to Flemington. A bigger track suited him well.
Southwest, and we know Jamie has come across from South Australia to ply her trade and has formed a very, very close association with the McKenna family through some really challenging periods, both on and off the track. We heard from both of them post-race yesterday amid some emotional scenes after the Damien Oliver. We're pretty clear for everybody that, as we heard from both of them yesterday, I think we anticipated there was going to be some emotion, but I thought both of them really put it into terrific context in regards to just what Colin and Janice have meant to them.
Oh, absolutely, and all...
Throw up some stories, add that. Cole McKenna, be watching down. It was meant to be. Another Will out to $3.80 if you don't mind. Let's have a look at the Wakeful now. Powers of Opal, one of the best backed runners on the card on the sports bet books is Powers of Opal from the John Sargent stable. And James McDonald, number 5, Powers of Opal, a good go. Heavily backed with sports bet into $1.90 the red. $5.50 to field now. Treasure of the moment. You got the Drift from the opening quote at $3.60. And
Doctor at the barriers, so Hurry Curry is a late scratching. Number 6, Hurry Curry, must be said, has been... Gates are back and they're racing. Inevitable Truth towards the outside. Jumped well with Killcare Beach Girl over towards the rails from Rapid Chevelle, Jenny's Meadow. And out deeper on the course, She Nailed It. And they were followed by Treasure the Moment, who got up to 5th. A length and a half away, Powers of Opal. Then came Inevitable Truth, who say 2 lengths out, Paramore. And last is In Her Eyes. Killcare Beach Girl, 800 metres to go. Getting quite a good run in front under Tim Clark from She Nailed It. Jenny's Meadow was third, the outside of Rapid Chevelle. Then came Treasure the Moment as Jenny's Meadow left the running line there and pulled 3 wide. Treasure the Moment has her back. All kinds of folk making up some ground on the inside. Powers of Opal's going to be one of the widest horses in the check jacket. Then Inevitable Truth. And behind those horses is Talisay. So they reach the 350. Killcare Beach Girl with Jenny's Meadow 2 lengths off her. Treasure the Moment's running on hard. And Powers of Opal the outside. Treasure the Moment takes up and took the front. Goes about a length and a half clear of Powers of Opal. Killcare Beach Girl is whacking on. 100 to go. Treasure the Moment extends. 2 legs, Powers of Opal, and has it won. Treasure the Moment lapping up 2,000 metres. A very good win. Treasure the Moment from Powers of Opal. 4 legs, Killcare Beach Girl. Then Inevitable Truth, and behind them Rapid Chevelle. Next in the field was Talisay, Jenny's Meadow, all kinds of folk, our Paramore, Chocolates, and then came She Nailed It and In Her Eyes.
How about that? What an impressive performance from Treasure the Moment. 2,000 metres, no problem whatsoever. Beautiful run in transit. Damien Lane, quick peek over the shoulder, and the job is done, defeating the short price favourite Powers of...
$15 into $4 new favourite, Treasure of the Moment, after the Wakeful. Let's have a look at the market now for the Coolmore, the first of the big 3 Group 1s today. This is a cracking Coolmore Stud Stakes. We have a new favourite, it's Traffic Warden. Jamie Carr's OK to ride in this race too, so Don't put your pen through Jamie Carr here. $3.90 as Traffic Warden rock solid at $4. $3.50 out to $4.20 Growing Empire. We are holding good money, and the best back since markets open at a price was $6.50 into $4.80. That's Switzerland. James McDonald $5.
Across the 2024 Melbourne Cup Carnival, the Coolmore Stud Stakes, and Hutch with Growing Empire.
I am. I've been a fan for a while, and I'm banking on him back against his own age group, proving too good. Look, Bellatrix Star, she's remarkable in her own right.
I'm with you, Hutch. God give him strength. I'm with Growing Empire. I thought this horse looked absolutely spot on, but I mean, to be fair...
Hey, punters, Growing Empire, Amy's pick of the yard, one of those, and also Traffic Warden. The top two, they're the liability in the book. So Growing Empire, $3.70, out slightly from $3.50. All right, and $6 next best, Switzerland, and there's plenty of value right down the page here. Let's have a look.
Set to go racing. Switzerland broke away very, very well in the middle of the field with Traffic Warden, Lady of Camelot, and Growing Empires right up there too. And speed shown by Yoshinobu over towards the flat side rail. Bodyguard is going to lead Traffic Warden, Lady of Camelot, and Yoshinobu. Growing Empires up with the leaders in the middle of the track from Coleman Gatsby's. Then came Stolly Bolly. Switzerland behind those horses now after a fast start. Then Gallant Sun, First Settler, Bellatrix Star, Bitter Creek as well back with Enriched. So the front runner Bodyguard for Hugh Bowman, and sprinted away about 4 lengths in front coming onto the course proper from Yoshinobu second, then Traffic Warden, Lady of Camelot, Stolly Bolly, then Growing Empire up the middle of the course, 4 off the front. Coleman next from Bellatrix Star, Switzerland, Gallant Sun, First Settler, and Gatsby's is waited with. They got to the leader, and now Lady of Camelot, Growing Empire go through with also Stolly Bolly and Switzerland right down the outside. At the 150, Switzerland sprints hard, takes the lead, draws a length in front, 2 lengths in front. This is going to be dominant. Switzerland a big winner by 2.5, Bellatrix Star. Photo third, Growing Empire or Lady of Camelot from Stolly Bolly. Then Gatsby's Coleman. Back behind them, Bitter Creek, First Settler, Traffic Warden, Gallant Sun, Yoshinobu, Enriched. And after going hard, Bodyguard knocked up to finish last in the Coolmore stud. James McDonald again. Switzerland has raced away for a dominant display. Did it at both ends too. Having a look at the overhead shot at burst, and James McDonald has now won this race 3 of the last 4. Home Affairs in 2021, In Secret in 2022, and now Switzerland, and Chris Waller wins it for the 6th time in the last 11 years. They've got a key to the race. The win last week. It was really playing on his mind, I think, and now he's been able to get that with Via Sistina riding out of his skin this afternoon with multiple winners. And
it's Coolmore, Michael, as we've got a dead heat for third coming through. How many times do we see in this Coolmore and these Group 1?
McDonald now 3 of the last 4, and once again it's the form line out of Sydney. This horse had, won the Roman Consul as his leader. That was the race that Osmosis came out of 12 months ago. A dominant performance in the end. Bellatrix Star, the filly, who has continued to elevate all the way through the spring. She beat the older horses in the Scalacci. She was able to claim second up against the inside rail for Mark Walker. Growing Empire and Lady of Camelot dead heat for third. We'll analyse James McDonald's ride and the performance of Switzerland in a moment.
Gatsby's is waited with. They got to the leader, and now Lady of Camelot, Growing Empire go through with also Stolly Bolly and Switzerland right down the outside. At the 150, Switzerland sprints hard, takes the lead, draws a length in front, 2 lengths in front. This is going to be dominant. Switzerland a big winner by 2.5, Bellatrix Star. Photo third, Growing Empire.
Home Affairs like in so many ways. So Group 1, 101 for James McDonald. Ollie, these things aren't electric scooters. Switzerland jumps a length in front, and then the plan for James McDonald is to get the back of something and then go again. Talk us through how well both horse and rider have worked in unison to produce that.
Yeah, well, obviously he flew the gates like you saw, but then you're a bit reliant on what the others are doing as well. But Growing Empire, you know, is generally a forward runner, especially with his blinkers on. And he did that, and he got a perfect trail off a good chance. Bodyguard, I think Huey thought he was still riding at Happy Valley the way he let it rip. It was set a strong pace. Bellatrix Star, I saw, had the back of the winner, but you could see Blake thinking, probably, this is my thoughts anyway, if he waits on its back, he's going to be too late by the time he gets out, so he kind of forced his hand to go back to the inside. She was a great run on, but a dominant win there by Switzerland, and, you know, I think a classic case of horse is really set for the race. You know, you could see Growing Empire, he'd run in a couple of tough Group 1s previously for it, and whether he was quite at his best, but you certainly saw the best of Switzerland there yesterday.
So, proposition Switzerland. Of the others, Traffic Warden just didn't want to be at the races yesterday, was playing up a little, was fizzed up in the mounting yard, and then and Growing Empire, when Switzerland jumped a length in front, vehemently went to the right and knocked over First Settler. Probably didn't really matter for First Settler, had the back of Growing Empire, but the thing about Growing Empire too, the Everest was a grand final, wasn't it? So to have to back up was tough.
Well, not only one, but two. You know, you had two, you know, both the Everest and the Manicato, he was up on the pace with his blinkers on, pulling a bit. So you just wonder whether, you know, in a trip away for a young horse, deep into a prep, whether it was quite his best. But a classic case of Switzerland, he missed the Everest and was saved for this race, and you could just see he was the fresh horse on the scene.
Yeah, Traffic Warden,
I think, yeah.
And Royal Ascot has been thrown about for Switzerland, so exciting times ahead.
Yeah, you think...
First time good specking at the each-way price. The best one backed at the price is number 7, $23 to 12 to 11. Politely done, but it's wider than that. It's
in 2020. Hutch, you've got El Costello on top, the spring champion winner. Your selection in the Derby.
Yeah, I think that's the right form, Nigel, and there's money coming back for it by the look of it. I think Keeneland Red Aces...
I'm with King of Thunder here. I thought this horse looked sensational.
There's been a great rally for the favourite. He got out to $4.40 with sports bet punters, and they went wickety whack back into $4 now, and really tightening up is El Costello. All right, now looking down there, you can see that King of Thunder's rock solid. Red Aces also, and the best backed at prices are 7, Politely Done, and 6.
They're set for the Penfolds Victoria Derby, and they're racing. Keeneland away fairly, brushed into Autumn Heat shortly after the start. King of Thunder broke well with Saint Emilion, but they don't want to lead. Keeneland is out deeper on the course, with also pushing up Hot to Go and Oxford Blue out wider. King of Wall Street is starting to drive through between horses. They charge out of the straight. King of Thunder's holding its place on the rail for now. Hot to Go is going to cross and lead Oxford Blue. Keeneland's 3 wide improving. King of Thunder behind them with King of Wall Street, and then came Gold Rush Guru, who's 3 wide and posted. Saint Emilion on the outside of Peru at the 1900 metres. A length and a half to Scary, Red Aces, and then came China Sea. 3 the speed about 10. 2 for the back is Scary, Politely Done. Then El Costello. Autumn Heat is next. West Indies as well back in the field, preceded by Tenbury Wells as they run past Chiquita Lodge with about 1100 metres to go. Hot to Go the leader by a length and a half to Oxford Blue. A length away is Keeneland third, and then came Gold Rush Guru. A length away in the field, King of Thunder. King of Wall Street, it's outside. 2 further back, Peru, and the speed has been even at the 850, and they get away as they come towards the home corner. Next in the field, Red Aces, who's just closing that gap a little, about 8 lengths off the lead now. Well back in the field then is China Sea, and then towards the back of the field, out very deep, El Costello with Autumn Heat trying to get involved. Politely Done shuffle back to third last, with also West Indies and Tenbury Wells. Into the running at the 500 metres, and Gold Rush Guru under a hold goes up to Hot to Go. Then came King of Wall Street, who's running on fairly well. Red Aces is coming through, still 4 off the lead. Gold Rush Guru went for home. 2 lengths King of Wall Street, followed by Scary right down the centre of the track. Gold Rush Guru at the 150. Scary is staying on, then China Sea. Gold Rush Guru for South Australia with 100 to go is pulling out. It's the stronger. It's going well, and Gold Rush Guru won the Derby. Scary second, a photo third between King of Wall Street and China Sea, and then El Costello. Next in the field, Red Aces and King of Thunder. Hot to Go was next, followed then in the field by Saint Emilion. Well back in the last was Oxford Blue. Gold Rush Guru for Jamie Carr and Andrew Gluyas for South Australia have taken out the Victoria Derby. What a day for Jamie Carr, winning the Damien Oliver for owner Cole McKenna. Was stood down by the doctor after race 5 and has come out and has taken out the Derby in spectacular fashion. Gold Rush Guru, if there was a horse you wanted to be on in the turn, absolutely towed up with the
run. Red Aces a little bit disappointing. He had a good run also, but
Simon, there seemed good tempo in the race, like they went...
Part of the Rebel Raider story with Leon McDonald. Gold Rush Guru, this was quite the training performance to come from the 1,800 metres of the Hill Smith, step to the 25, and in the end, it was quite an assertive victory in the Derby.
It was a terrific win, but whilst we were watching, Ollie, what Josh Parr was doing from the outside gate on El Costello and concentrating on that, Jamie Carr was just sliding up. She drew the gate next to here, but ended up one out, one back.
She tried her arm, and it looked a little bit dicey for her early going out of the straight, and I'm going to say it was more good fortune and good management sliding into the 1-1, because usually the Paisley, as we know, there was a strong northerly wind there yesterday, 20 to 30 kilometres, so it was a big advantage to get cover from the 1,400 to the 600, and you saw the jockeys riding accordingly, and things that punched into the breeze at that time found it a little bit harder to stay on.
Welcome in Derby winning trainer Andrew Lewis to the wrap, Morpheville. Terry the koala, John sort of the gum tree that was being hugged by it. Andrew, you're very close to Terry. I imagine there might be some conversations around the Christmas dinner table in regards to his reactions.
Oh, his reaction was almost identical to Charlie, his son. He was with us at Flemington in the mounting yard. And
hopefully this time in 12 months we're sitting here talking about that galloper ahead of Tuesday's Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, for sure. For those in behind, great result for Andrew Lewis. What a great result for Emily and David Brown, who've come across, set up their stable and had Scary run an excellent race in the Derby.
Yeah, he ran a super race, didn't he? Hit the line really good. That's 2 years in a row. I rode a horse from that ran third in the Oaks last year as well. Great run by that horse, and the favourite El Costello got home really nicely as well. He actually had the back of the second horse at the top of the straight, but the second horse really got away from him. He was grinding home well, the third horse, but he was just a bit out-sprinted there yesterday.
And pulled up with EIP.
Fit, and she gets the good gate into $6.50. Nice support on a big Saturday. And a push here for Elsafina. Now, she comes out of the two racks. She was terrific 2 starts back, winning 10 into $8. Nice push there. $7.50 coming in there. Race 8, number 1, a Tissue. Very popular.
You'd expect, but plenty of ammo here.
Yeah, good spread of money. Nice price there for Amy's pick of the yard at $7. Plenty of ammo, but it's a Tissue tightening up as we get closer to jump time, into $3.90 now. So, yeah, money's with the Tissue. Race 8, number 1. She's the class runner, but she does have a heap of class mares down the page. The best backed at the price is Elsafina, 10 into 8.
Group 1 action, and they're racing, and Elsafina jumped away well with also Lady in Pink, Revolutionary Miss, and Grinzinger Bell is pushing forward as she loves to do. Kamachi next from Amelia's Jewel. Elsafina's going to snag back to midfield. Then Sox Nation, a Tissue. Well back Lekvart. Further back along the inside is Elsafina. Then came a Tissue. Well back in the field, Lekvart. See You in Heaven, Zardozi. And at the end of the field, Orchestral. Coming down to the 800. Grinzinger Bell by 2 lengths in her natural pattern from Revolutionary Miss. Kamachi is third, and then came Plenty of Ammo, Every Chance. Amelia's Jewel, 5th the rails, and then came Lady in Pink, Elsafina, Sox Nation, a Tissue well back with Lekvati, See You in Heaven, Zardozi and Orchestral. They run the corner, 500 to go. It's Grinzinger Bell shook up by 2, Revolutionary Miss, Kamachi. Further back is Amelia's Jewel on the outside. Elsafina is tracking up over on the rails, and behind those then was Lady in Pink and a Tissue very wide. Grinzinger Bell with Amelia's Jewel the outer. Elsafina back on the inside, and a Tissue is coming with a big run. Amelia's Jewel at the 100 metres, 3/4 a Tissue. Amelia's Jewel a neck a Tissue. Amelia's Jewel just in front of a Tissue diving. It's a head bobbing go. A Tissue. A Tissue wins from Amelia's Jewel, Sox Nation, and then a photo for 4th between Elsafina and Zardozi sliding through late. Wait for Tuesday. Then Lekvati behind them, Kamachi, Lady in Pink, Plenty of Ammo, Grinzinger Bell, See You in Heaven, Orchestral, and last, Revolutionary Miss. A Tissue wins. Ran so well in the race last year. A true Group 1 performer has stormed down the middle for James McDonald and Chris Waller. They both salute in 2 of the Group 1s on Derby Day.
She was 5th in the race a couple of years ago, backed up the week after to win a Matriarch last year on a day where it was difficult to make ground given the southerly breeze. She did a tremendous job against the pattern to run second behind Pride of Jenny in this race before, of course, winning the Champion Stakes yesterday. Everything lined up, and James McDonald perhaps put to use, Ollie, the fact that she'd had the 2,000-metre runs as the lead-in. She made a really lengthy, sustained run to haul in Amelia's Jewel.
She did. Amelia's Jewel looked like she was going to hold her there for a while, but Tissue's a class mare. She dug in deep, and just having a nice trail, covering that wind, worked out perfectly for her. And, you know, she chased her down hard to grab her near the line.
And it was worth... tracking up over on the rails, and behind those then was Lady in Pink and a Tissue very wide. Grinzinger Bell with Amelia's Jewel the outer. Elsafina back on the inside, and a Tissue is coming with a big run. Amelia's Jewel at the 100 metres. 3/4 a Tissue. Amelia's Jewel a neck a Tissue. Amelia's Jewel just in front of a Tissue diving. It's a head bobbing go. A Tissue. A Tissue wins from Amelia's Jewel.
A bit different to the paint scraper that J-Mac produced on Shillelagh in 2018 to win this race for Chris. I think as good as a Tissue's been, just nice to see Amelia's Jewel back at Flemington. It's produced two of her better performances in her career so far for me.
Might consider those as well, but she's, as you said, definitely shown her liking for Flemington, and those two class mares really kicked away. We could see Jamie switch it to the left, and she got a little extra kick out of it towards the line there, and I thought she might hold her, but then a Tissue dug deep and just nailed her on the line.
She's been so fascinating, though, Amelia's Jewel. Like, who would have thought when she beat Pride of Jenny as a $1.30 favourite at the Valley that since that point in time, Pride of Jenny, you go on and win 5 biggest races, and Amelia's Jewel has not won a single race since.
Yeah, and Pride of Jenny's racehorse of the year. You would have tagged at that stage, well, if it's going to be either of those two, it's going to be the West Aussie.
Exactly. Yeah. Pride of Jenny has done what I think we all thought Amelia's Jewel would do, but it's good to see yesterday at least she's trending back in the right direction, but she fascinates me.
On the winner of Tissue, 5th up, so different preparation to last year when she ran a really good race, but had mile races in the lead-up. She'd run 2 2,000-metre races leading up. So the distance was certainly in the legs, and that might be a factor if she heads to next Saturday.
And just look back there on the blue. On the inside,
I am. And I'll tell you why I'm watching it, because you did the same thing on Colette in this race.
Yes, but this one's looking forward to a Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. Zardozi, a typical Cummings, nice run, blowout before the Cup. So don't forget Zardozi for Tuesday.
We thought that element of Derby Day was dead and buried with the McKinnon moved, the Archer back into September, that we wouldn't see a horse having a rev up on the Saturday before the Tuesday. It was great that, one, there was a horse doing so, and then, two, that she's produced that as well.
And, of course, over the years, but... yeah, I mean, she's got to be a fair income chance, doesn't she, in the Cup, barrier 4?
Yeah, draw's going to help her, I think, for sure, yep.
Good effort down, 2.5 days to go till the race that stops the nation. What are our early thoughts on the race?
Well, again, another fascinating renewal of the race. I was really taken with Sea King's win at Bendigo. The draws probably helped the Irish horses in Vauban and Absurd. The way they race, gates 7 and 11 are going to help. I love the run of Zardozi yesterday. And Buckaroo's the traditional Caulfield Cup horse coming through to the Melbourne Cup. The only thing is, there were questions about... I was initially with Sea King, but judging by what Ollie had to say to me this morning, I'm completely against it now. He's turned me off it.
It was a good win. Don't let me turn you right off now. I just think barrier 1, he's a bit slow to begin. I know how hard they go from the gate in a Melbourne Cup, and then he can get pulling. So he's going to be a challenging ride for Holly Doyle having her first ride in a Melbourne Cup. Because
query, so with these horses like Vauban and Absurd that have already had a crack at running in a Melbourne Cup and are coming back the year after, is that a concern that they've already had a ping at it and weren't able to do it?
Not really, because we've heard Willie Mullen say that he didn't quite get it right last year, and he's learnt from his experience. So I think that's a big positive. I think,
in your opinion, is there any horse we're forgetting?
Akita Sushi is one I like a little bit at odds. He's got good form, no weight on his back. Jamie Carr is riding in great form. He's going to be up on the pace. He ran in it last year, but I think he's in better form this year. So he's probably one at odds I don't mind a bit.
Quinny, has there been any significant...
A couple of bigger pre-post bets coming up on screen now, but it will be interesting to see who does start favourite. We haven't had one since 2013. Fiorente won the race. Forget who rode, but... hopefully for favoured backers, we can see one of them back on the winners list.
Right of reply.
Oh, short memory. That was 11 years ago now, though. It's getting away from
We're due for a winning...
Now, though, it's getting away from
We're due for a winning favourite, though.
Now...
As winners inspire. Farlap, revered as a legend. Rising Fast, Australia's greatest staying handicapper. Frank Rays and the ride of his life. Dermot Weld, who globalised the Cup with Vintage Crop.
Nick, but Vintage Crop has got him. Vintage Crop, the Irish horse will win the Melbourne Cup. Vintage Crop.
Or Sheila Laxon, the first female trainer to win the Cup. Damien Oliver's treble punctuated by honouring a fallen brother.
And media puzzle, Damien and Dermot have done it.
I give it back right now to have my brother back.
Awe-inspiring mare, Mackay Diva.
But a champion becomes a legend. Mackay Diva has won it.
Or Dane's tectonic, Michelle Payne's tectonic moment.
Prince and Pit Dance, it's history at Flemington, Michelle Payne.
From Archer to Without a Fight, the principle remains the same. Be the best 3,200-metre horse under handicap conditions on the grandest stage in November.
Now, this is it, the Lexus Melbourne Cup, and your favourite here, just nudging ahead, Buckaroo, looking to become the first favourite since Fiorente, ridden by Damien Oliver back in 2013 to win the Melbourne Cup. He's $6.50. He's out from $5.50, that opening quote. $7 and pretty solid is One Smooth Operator. Vauban now out to $7.50. So just a chance. It's 3 wide, no cover for 3,200 metres. If you don't mind, he might have a wide run again today, but I reckon he can get the job done. 41 into $21. And looking right down the page, one at a price for your first.
One is Vauban. Willie Mullins brings him back after running 14th last year with 55 kilos.
He brings the strongest staying form into the race. I think he's well weighted with 55.5 kilos. It's a question.
Last year with Salcombe in these colours, 2 Buckaroo, second in the Turnbull, second in the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, might be the best horse in the race with the strongest form. That narrow defeat to Via Sistina, it was the run of the race in the traditional lead up the Caulfield Cup. Big question, can he run 3,200 metres?
Home behind their best day at Tio Royale. He was a non-factor on soft ground at Caulfield.
I just don't think he handled the soft track there. He's far better suited. Can't add much more there. Ran a creditable 7th in a stronger edition of the Cup 12 months ago when he presented to win. He's from an elite stable. I think he's among the winning chances.
He's an old-fashioned, classic staying type of horse. He's beautifully relaxed.
10 Athabaskan, a scrap.
Yeah, I love the Geelong Cup win of One Smooth Operator, and I think he's only going to be better suited.
With One Smooth Operator, I thought that he had a heap of improvement in him at Geelong, and I couldn't believe how well he performed, considering he did just have that little...
Let's take a look at the market courtesy of Sportsbet. Buckaroo, $6.50. I reckon he'll go off your favourite. Just ahead of One Smooth Operator, Benazgari's on top selection. Vauban's the only other runner under double-figure odds. You can see Absurd, Land Legend. That money's just dried up a fraction now. Same for Rakita Sushi. If you want the best backed roughie in the last 10 to 15 minutes, it's number 11, Knight's Choice. He's had a solid foundation with 2 2,400-metre runs. He's on the 6-day backup, and he had that winter preparation, which now a 71 chance or $81 chance.
Of the Lexus Melbourne Cup, and the field is set to go. Ready to go, and they're racing. Trusting you towards the inside, broke away well with Akita Sushi, just fine, sharp and smart. And from the deep also Land Legend is showing some speed and intent. They come across towards the inside. Very wide is Circle of Fire, using plenty of the track in the early stages. 600 metres to go on the first round. Just Fine is sliding across to lead the Cup field. From Land Legend, mostly cloudy, Akita Sushi next on the inside. Circle of Fire progresses around them deeper, and then Fancy Man, Sharp and Smart, and Zardozi tucked away on the rails. Out deeper is Valiant King around Interpretation. Then came Manzoist the Fence from Kovalika, Trusting You, Knight's Choice, Vauban 3 wide, the map around at 4 deep. Warp Speed next the fence, and then came One Smooth Operators, Kovalika, Warp Speed, and then came the map out 3 wide, tracked by Vauban. Then Knight's Choice, Positivity, a length and a quarter away. Then in the field is One Smooth Operator as they run by the 1,550. Well back is is Absurd on the inside of St George, and then Buckaroo and Sea King is last in the Lexus Melbourne Cup. 1,400 metres to run. Just Fine in front at an even speed by a length and a quarter. Land Legend and Circle of Fire. Akita Sushi next on the inside of Mostly Cloudy. A length and a half Zardozi with Every Hope on the inside of Fancy Man. A length away to Manzoy, Sharp and Smart. Then Trusting You. Further back at the 1,200 metres, Interpretation. 2 lengths to Warp Speed. Then came Valiant King, who's losing a little bit of ground. Passed by the map. Then Kovalika Positivity. Vauban is being shuffled back as this field string right out now at the 950. The leaders have put the foot down towards the back. Absurd, One Smooth Operator is about 20 off the lead. Then came Buckaroo about to get going from St George and Sea King. Just Fine is the leader. Coming down towards the 700 metres by a length and a half to Land Legend. 2 lengths away, Circle of Fire, Akita Sushi. Zardozi next on the inside, weighted with Fancy Man under pressure. Then came Mostly Cloudy, Manzoyce. Buckaroo sweeping up around the outside, about 6 off the lead, followed by Vauban. Land Legend goes to the front with Akita Sushi on the outside. Then Zardozi back behind those, Circle of Fire, Fancy Man, and from a long way back, Buckaroo. It's Akita Sushi. Zardozi a length away on the inside, wearing it down. Akita Sushi grabbed by Zardozi. Knight's Choice is coming through at any old price, and Warp Speed as well. Zardozi grabbed by Knight's Choice, and Warp Speed coming at it. Knight's Choice, Warp Speed, they hit the line. It's a photo finish. Knight's Choice, I reckon, won from Warp Speed in a photo. What a magnificent finish to the Cup. Zardozi in a photo for third with Akita Sushi. Absurd. Then Circle of Fire next to finish in the race. Land Legend, Fancy Man, Sharp and Smart, Kovalika. Sea King, Positivity, Trust in You, Manzoyce, One Smooth Operator. Interpreting with also St George and Just Fine at the tail of the field, and Knight's Choice is the winner. Robbie Dolan for John Simons and Sheila Laxon. It is a rank outsider. Knight's Choice has won the Lexus Melbourne Cup.
Knight's Choice, Robbie Dolan, James McDonald.
Life, and it's going to change his life. But 2 fantastic rides, first and second, unbelievable.
Michelle, brilliant finish there. Warp Speed looked like it had it. Akita Sushi was powering home. Zardozi.
It's just unbelievable. Didn't have the form lines. It's my extreme choice, a sprinter. It's just unbelievable to think he's now won our greatest 2-mile race.
Well, you heard it there from J Mac.
Choice, Robbie Dolan. Well, he became a bit of a singing icon, and now this young man has bowled them over with John Simons and Sheila Laxon, famous for the deeds of Ethereal back in 2001, has just beaten Warp Speed, the Japanese horse who has improved at Zini for James Cummings, and 5th number 9 Absurd, Karen McAvoy for Willie Mullins. 3:19.53, a half head by 3/4 of a length. The completed placings after the Lexus Melbourne Cup: 11, 4, 12 and 14.
It's an upset result in the... What has happened?
Yeah, I'm still absolutely stunned. I've got to go back and watch the race a couple of times to see how Robbie Dolan was able to do it. What a story.
Melbourne Cup jockey Robbie Dolan, how's that sound?
Wow, pinch me, I think I'm dreaming.
This is your 3,200.
I watched every Melbourne Cup for the last 40 years the other night, and I just thought my best chance is if I get him to stay the trip, and hopefully he can rattle home and quicken up them good sectionals that he can do on a good track. And he just proved everybody wrong.
Robbie, you're keeping it together pretty well for your first Melbourne Cup. You've been in Australia for 8 years from...
Being our little baby, Maisie. My dad flew over from Ireland, and now you got me in tears.
Well, you've gone from the jockey with a voice to the Melbourne Cup winning jockey. Go and enjoy it.
Let's go. Woo!
Over to you, Simons. Can you believe it?
Yes. We wouldn't have been here if we didn't think we could.
Well, that's right. I mean,
Robbie, he stayed in, he took the risks, went through the pack. I was worried, and he got further back than we talked about, but great ride. What a thrill, what a thrill.
At what point? Was it when One was saying that never in doubt, really, he always had faith in this horse?
He did, and he studied the race and how to ride him, and we didn't give him instructions, he just knew what to do.
What about you? 2 out of 2.
Well,
I better stop there.
No, I don't think you can. It's just amazing, isn't it? I mean, does it bring it all back, the first one?
Oh, of course it does. And you know what's great? I love it being done for the Australians. You know, the Australians horse done it, and Robbie's Australian now as well. So I'm thrilled to win the Cup, and it's the People's Cup, and that's what it's all about.
Well,
just Cameron Bain and the people who raced Midnight Pearl, the mother, they've got 10% as well. So it's just a small group of people, but it's, you know, I mean, they're just so thrilled, and it's so am I, of course.
$2,576, and the first four has paid $728,000 on the numbers 11, 4, 12 and 14.
On the outside, about 6 off the lead, followed by Vauban. Land Legend goes to the front with Akita Sushi on the outside. Then Zardozi. Back behind those, Circle of Fire, Fancy Man, and from a long way back, Buckaroo. It's Akita Sushi. Zardozi a length away on the inside, wearing it down. Akita Sushi grabbed by Zardozi. Knight's Choice is coming through at any old price, and Warp Speed as well. Zardozi grabbed by Knight's Choice, and Warp Speed coming at it. Knight's Choice, Warp Speed, they hit the line. It's a photo finish. Knight's Choice, I reckon, one from Warp Speed.
Every cup's special. Every cup's got a story. But this one has set itself up as either a 3-hour movie or a 10-part Netflix series.
There's a lot of stories out of this, right? And just fantastic ride, Ollie, from Robbie Dolan.
Was a great ride, yep. You know, the track was a little bit on pace that day. It sort of had to be up and in, and a really well-executed ride by both the first and second horse. You know, there was probably a couple of questionable rides there, absurd. Also, Buckaroo, you know, particularly Buckaroo, he couldn't win with that kind of ride. You know, he needed that ride like the winner got. And yes, he didn't have the draw perhaps to get it, but he didn't get his chance to probably show his best. And you know, he's
well, he was behind them. I mean, I'm in the minority. I'm not as critical as Moreira's ride, because I think if he's behind them and he waits, a bit like last year, he mightn't have. You know, he's going to be behind the first and second horse, and they got their gaps. I'm not sure he would have got it, but.
What were the standout features of what Robbie Dolan was able to pull off?
Well, I suppose just his patience, you know, and he had no weight on his back in a year where the Cup was probably down a little bit on quality. You know, and when you're riding an outsider, you can take a little bit more risk, perhaps. There's not so much pressure on you. You know, as the gaps came, he took them and the horse took them as well, you know, so... you know, a great ride, you know, we all know the story, obviously, you know, and it's turned Robbie into a real rock star, you know? So, you know, fantastic and good luck to him. And, you know, there's some other great rides in the race too. I thought Zardozi's was a great ride. Jamie Carr's ride was great on Akita Sushi as well. Land Legend didn't help himself. He still pulled a little bit. If he had settled at some stage, you know, he could have been fighting out the finish as well. Kieran McAvoy's ride, Absurd, was really good. Probably just had to change direction a couple of times, but you know, they were the rides of the races, I felt.
This was so well.
Those sort of races. So yeah, personally, I'd give a, you know, I mean, we saw that with Harry Coffey in the Caulfield Cup. You know how he executed a great ride. So I think personally, I'd rather have a good local lightweight rider that's got the local knowledge.
Quinny, we had
that's the other thing, but you know, we just want to see the best riders out there, and it doesn't seem right that this. You know, the compressed weights, like 50 to 55, something's wrong.
Yeah, well, it's not the handicap we're used to with the big spread in the weights, but the flip is it does then create the opportunities for the Robbie Dolans of the world to perhaps get cup rides.
Absolutely. So, you know, a great story came out of it.
We rarely...
It really is. It was a couple of tough form lines. Well done. It was pretty well backed, the winner, too, you know, like around the ground, so... Incredible.
Quinny, just quickly before we get back to yesterday's racing, has anyone found the person who I think who had... Was it the $100 first fall that yielded... Was it $3.2 million?
Yes, and I'd be lying if I said they intended to do what they did, which is a nice little way to add to the story as well.
One extra zero perhaps was pushed into the computer.
Got a shock that they had it that many times, so well done to them. But I think it was one...
They're racing. Hurry Curry from the centre gate away only fairly. Killcare Beach Girl jumped very, very quickly with Inevitable Truth with that tactics change is booting up on the inside, and pushing up to third is Noises, 2 down Discreet, fourth the rails from Rag Queen. Treasure the Moment's 3 wide on that opening corner. They were followed by Harlem Queen and Hurry Curry, as in front of those Treasure the Moment's now one off the fence, the favourite. 2/3 down the field, Powers of Opal is 3 wide around Pleasure Artist and Feminile, and then Tacit Pearl. So Killcare Beach Girl is the leader by a length. Inevitable Truth, and they're 2 lengths to Noises, and also 2 down Discreet. Treasure the Moment every possible chance by the 1,000 metres. Next is Rag Queen, and on her outside is Hurry Curry. A length and a half away in the field, Harlem Queen, Powers of Opal. Then came Pleasure Artist outside of Feminile from Talisay, who's third last. Well back in the field, All Kinds of Folk, and Placid Pearl brought up the rear as Killcare Beach Girl is steadily sooling up the pressure from Inevitable Truth. And then came the outside Noises, about a length and a half off the lead as they come around the turn. Inevitable Truth has struck the front early in the straight and went for the doctor at the 450. Inevitable Truth 2 or 3 lengths in front of 2 down Discreet. Treasure the Moment. Lane hasn't pushed the button yet, and behind those horses Hurry Curry, and on the inside 2 down Discreet. Wax on. Inevitable Truth at the 200. Treasure the Moment lets down now, cuts the ribbons. Powers of Opal is running on. Treasure the Moment, 100 metres to go, a length and 3/4. Powers of Opal won't get there. Treasure the Moment, it's one to Sabre. Treasure the Moment won the Oaks. Powers of Opal second, and third was Hurry Curry, followed by Harlem Queen. Next 2 down Discreet and Pleasure Artist. A gap, Placid Pearl's run a race. Rag Queen.
The 3-year-olds have been good to Matt Laurie, an SA Derby and Oakley Plate, and now a VRC Oaks with Treasure of the Moment. Matt, congratulations on your third Group 1. You might not have voiced it publicly, but when did you start thinking she might have been an Oaks filly?
Look, I thought her win at Sandown, I think it was 3 back. It was very, very tough. I didn't really have too many questions about her at least reaching 2,000 metres, and she obviously answered that pretty heavily over the weekend. We were just hoping we'd slot in, and Damien, managed that perfectly. And it was, I started to get very hot and nervous before the race, but yeah, it was a painless watch really. It was almost like a replica of the weekend, just with another 500 on top.
Support from
Curry, and on the inside 2 down Discreet. Wax on. Inevitable Truth at the 200. Treasure the Moment lets down now, cuts the ribbons. Powers of Opal is running on. Treasure the Moment, 100 metres to go, a length and 3/4. Powers of Opal won't get there. Treasure the Moment, it's one to Sabre. Treasure the Moment won the Oaks. Powers of Opal second, and third was Hurry Curry, followed by Harlem.
The 39th time that the Wakeful Oaks double has been completed. Welcome back to the wrap. Ollie, you had a fantastic association with the Oaks during your riding career, and she's just that sort of typical spring filly who has continued to meet every challenge as Matt Laurie's raised the bar.
Yeah, the Wakeful form really coming to the fore there, the Quinella in that, again in the Oaks. Cracking ride from Damien Lane there, from a tricky gate, got her into a perfect spot, and she's a class filly. I think he was able to put her in that perfect position, really capitalise on it, but I think those first 2 look really nice fillies going forward. I thought pre-race that the spring champion form might come to the fore with those the first 2 fillies drawing a little bit awkward gates, but the winner particularly given a great ride, and the Oaks, the Wakeful form really stood up, didn't it?
It did, yeah, but she was very good. I don't think there's much between them, Ollie, the first 2. I think with the swap runs,
yeah, agree,
they're pretty even, so.
And a great job by Matt Laurie too. He's a great horseman, done a wonderful job.
Then others that have gone through it, and Ruta Royale is a perfect example. Ran second in the Golden Gift, kept pushing on, ran in the Golden Slipper, had a really strong hand, also ran in a Blue Diamond as well.
It's been phenomenal. The Blue Diamond is really with the Golden. I mean, the Golden Slipper in terms of it's the #1 race in the world for 2-year-olds. The
North of England went up favourite 280 on Wednesday, and that was a bit short. We did lay a couple of horses early on, particularly west of Swindon, who did firm immediately after Markets first went up. He's got back out a little.
Set now.
And they're racing, and Olay began brilliantly, lands about 3/4 of a length in front from the favourite North England, Akarian Dream, and Supercara holding a spot on the rails. Galga's caught deep and going forward. So the favourite North England booted up on the inside of Olay to take the lead. Galga's on a 3-wide path in third, then Supercara is plonked fourth on the inside of Akarian Dream. 2 lengths further back to Lapis Lazuli, who races on the inside of Extractor as they come around the turn. North England in front from Olay, just wanting to lay in a little bit there, and North England kicks a bit. North England a length in front from Olay. They're followed further back by West of Swindon, making some ground on the outside. Carrion Dream goes back to the rails. North England clear though, inside the 150. They're starting to come now, but North England's begging for the post from West of Swindon, who's getting close, but North England got in a half length away. The West of Swindon or Extractor pushing through the middle. Carrion Dreams finished in.
Make it back-to-back golden gifts. It was Shangri-La Express last year. He wanted the post. It was
of their career, so we know how much improvement they make from those performances, and they came from well off.
Favourite and Belclair, they're the best 2 supported runners between them. They hold 50% of the investment on this race. Magic Time's now $2.40 and Belclair $3.60, and not a lot of change really since they opened on Wednesday.
To beat those new colours on Magic Time. Here we go. Here's Darren Flindell for the
Hot Danish Stakes, and the field is up and running. Miss Hellfire left the gate cleanly off the inside. Going forward, Navy on the highway deep out, and now Belclair driving through the centre. Arctic Glamour's right with him as well. Rose Bloom goes right up the inside. Now on the outside, Magic Time a bit wide early. Alencia's right there underneath. Then came Arctic Glamour and Magic Time. She'll really have to be gritty to win this today. 3 wide, no cover. Further back to Rose Bloom on the inside of Alencia. Q's Likely and Pulchritudinous are the last 2. So Belclair looking to go back-to-back. Leads the way by a half on Navy on the highway. Magic Time strides to third, but she's worked overtime on the run. Further back to Miss Hellfire. Arctic Glamour and Alencia heads the rest, getting to the outside. Belclair travelling well for Schiller. At the 350, Belclair opens up by 2. 3 on Navy on the highway. Then came Magic Time, and further back to Alencia. Belclair inside the 200. Still a length and a half clear. Magic Time, she's trying a hard out. It's Belclair in front though, holding Magic Time. Then Alencia, and Belclair's going to lead all the way in the Hot Danish. Big run, Magic Time in defeat. Alencia grabbed third in front of Navy on the highway. Then came Arctic Glamour from Rose Bloom.
Navy on the highway tried to keep her honest, Tim Clark, didn't he? But she got that beautiful kick on the turn. Thought Magic Time was terrific. Had the Wild West. So 1, 2, 3, all classy mares. I mean, the top 2, particularly to you, Anthony, from the tab. It's the market for the 5 Diamond.
Yeah, really good betting race as well, Bruce. So Territory Express is the favourite, but hanging on to it grimly for the moment because there's good support for attrition. Now, Territory Express opened as much as $8 when markets were first posted, subject to 12 cents worth of deductions. If you took the 8, you're on it just over $7, and it's now $4.20. Now, attrition in the last 20 minutes has been, given that he is a Queenslander and there's plenty of support up there. Freedom Rally 16, Pericles at $17, and then we sort of get to the roughies after that. Good betting race.
Here's Darren Flindell's call of the $2 million 5 Diamonds.
Diamonds, and the gates are back. They're off and racing now. And Lindemann jumped well directly on the outside of Major Bill, but there's a more victorious, ridden with intent of leading. Pericles is showing a bit of pace, trying to get into its slipstream as they roll into the first turn, and a more victorious leads clearly. And Pericles got across into second, and Osipenko's going forward on the outside. So Major Bill will have to take a sit today on the outside. Radina the outside, and Straight Aces last of all. 1,000 to go, and Osipenko leads the way with Yellow Brick going to second. A more victorious handed up early. And Pericles settles fourth, 1 out, 1 back. They're followed then by attrition on the inside of Major Beale, and Lindemann is cast 3 wide the trip. Further back to Holy Mans, then the Grey Kingswood. Freedom Rally, it's outside. Territory Express is locked up on the fence, followed by New Endeavour, then Camradina, and 2 lengths away to Straight Acer. Osipenko at the 550 leads the way from Yellow Brick, then came a more victorious. Pericles has been well positioned in the run. Now attrition shoving its way out the fence, coming 3 horses horse, 3-4 wide, and further back to Lindemann. And now Territory Express is trying to slice through the pack, but it's got all the chasing to do. Yellowbrook takes the lead, but Pericles joined it. It's Yellow Brick and Pericles. Freedom Rally running on the outside. Further back to attrition. It's Yellow Brick and Pericles. Yellow Brick and Pericles. Pericles going to it. Strong late, and Pericles won the 5 diamonds. A neck on the line to Freedom Rally. Yellow Brick third, then Territory Express flashing home and clear. Attrition right up behind them. Then came Kingswood. Further back to a more victorious Osipenko Holy Man straight.
For Godolphin and Pericles, 4 times he's been placed in Group 1 company, and he's been a second in the Golden Eagle. He's won a stack of money, more than $5 million now, Lizzie.
Yeah, exactly, Bruce. And look at this overhead shot, because you can see a number of horses actually hampered in the run, Attrition being one of them. You can see Freedom Rally flying down the outside, and that's when we saw a lot.
Queensland trained horses run so well. Territory Express was the other one that was desperately unlucky. He was coming off.
Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Let's take a look at your market. And Kinesiology, who wears the Solcombe colours, winner of this race previously. Same trainer, same silk, same connections, or similar anyway. It's been on the drift, 250 out to 350, just missed a spot, 5 into 4, just getting a touch soft late. Interesting, he's 4th up here today, he's never placed.
Racing, Steel Blaze away fairly. Smoke and Romans fired out of the gates to lead. From Serpentine, Kinesiology, The Fence and Mission of Love wider. Then Berkeley Square, Steel Blaze, I'm a Dirty Rascal. At the end, 1,300 to go. Smoke and Romans has had a dream in front, and there's no change in the play. A length and a quarter, now a length and a half, Mission of Love, and then came Kinesiology and Serpentine at the 1,200 marker. I'm a Dirty Rascal's getting going now. Wasn't happy with the speed, so whips up. Berkeley Square thought about a move, but Serpentine came out ahead of it. So Smoke and Romans led, 1,000 metres to go. By a neck to I'm a Dirty Rascal, and they're now 2.5 Mission of Love, Kinesiology, and Serpentine up to 5th, and 3 wide as they reach the 800 metres. Then came Berkeley Square, who's stoking into it from Steel Blazer, made first light, and Star Vega. Smoke and Romans just in front of I'm a Dirty Rascal, but the race is developing here at the 650. Berkeley Square, 4 deep is coming on. Serpentine, Kinesiology needs some luck next the inside and is still travelling. Followed then by First Light, and back in the field then is I'm a Dirty Rascal, who now drops away. Smoke and Romans went for home again, about 2 lengths in front of Kinesiology, getting out Berkeley Square, and here's Star Vega right down the outside, is coming home. 250 to go. Smoke and Romans 2 lengths to Star Vega, Berkeley Square, then Kinesiology. Smoke and Romans 100 metres to go. A length to Star Vega, wearing it down. Smoke and Romans is pulling out enough though, and Smoke and Romans wins it. Smoke and Romans has won it by a neck. Second Star Vega from Berkeley Square, then came Serpentine.
I mean, this is a prime example where the ride has won the race, because he was able to get this horse to the front. And like you heard Matt Hill saying in commentary, they were going no tempo, so he was saving all the petrol the way around. And then coming around the bend...
For Chris Waller, who was scratched from the Australian Heritage Cup on Tuesday in preference for this. Berkeley Square and Star Vega prominent coming through the Bendigo Cup, but it's Smoke and Romans. So we had 3 horses yesterday at their 40th career start win. Mr Brightside's a known commodity, but Smoke and Romans had won since the 2022 Turnbull, and we'll get to Hinged in the Matriarch, who hadn't won since the surround of that year. Turn back the clock, admittedly, I don't know what you were thinking watching this race, but seeing almost 14 seconds for a 200-metre section bob up, Ben Melham almost should have got a fine for the lack of speed.
Yeah, he stole it, Ben Melham. He rode the carnival really well, I thought, for limited opportunity.
The 5th race of the day, it is the Group 2 tab, Matriarch Stakes, and plenty of runners here today over the 2.
Hinged will go off your favourite at 420, but a drifting favourite at that now. A stack of these come out of that Moonee Valley race 2 weeks ago, I should say. Firestorm's the one that they're saying will finish in front of the rest of them at $5.50. Benner's Gary's on top select, $5.50. Benner's Gary's on top selection's been the best backed runner in the race. So number 16, Kind Words, $21.
race, and they're racing. And Foxy Cleopatra, middle of the line out, beginning well, was Cirileo Miss, and also Lavore, and Wishlaw Lass is also booting through. Foxy Cleopatra is also in the firing line, up to about fourth from Hinged. Kind Words trying to slot across Molly Bloom. Charisse well back. Then came Prime. Two further back as Quickster next on the rails. Covering her up in the race is the favourite Hinged. And then came Molly Bloom. Next is Charisse Basilina. And then came Private Legacy Little Mix. Towards the end is Coco Sun as they reach Chiquita Lodge at the 1200 metres. And also back there with her is Firestorm. Stringing them out here is Cirileo Miss. Wants it over and done with by about 2.5 lengths. Lavore, 2 lengths. Wishlaw Lass, Lady in Pink. A gap in the field then to Kind Words outside of Foxy Cleopatra. The favourite Hinged is 7 lengths off the lead and off the rails from Quickster and then Molly Bloom. Charisse is well back with Private Legacy, Basilina, Little Mix, and then Firestorm and Coco Sun. Approaching the turn, and it is Cirileo Miss for Declan Bates out 2.5 Lavore. Lady in Pink, and they were followed by Wishlaw Lass. They're 2 lengths. Kind Words under a bit of pressure before the corner from Foxy Cleopatra. Hinged in plenty of air, still 7 off the lead as this leader skipped away. Basilina up on the inside from Molly Bloom, and they were followed by Quickster. They reached the 350. Cirileo Miss, it's a long straight, 2.5 lengths. Lady in Pink, then Hinged up the middle, and then a gap to Little Mix and Firestorm. Cirileo Miss, 150 metres to go, starting to paddle. Lady in Pink and Hinged is coming home hard. Cirileo Miss, Hinged is a real threat. Cirileo Miss needs the line. Hinged lunges and wins. Hinged, I reckon's got up to beat Cirileo Miss. Lady in Pink. They were followed by Little Mix and Quickster. Molly Bloom, Firestorm, Charisse, a gap, Basilina, Private Legacy, and then Kind Words. Patra, it's J-Mac again.
In just moments, James McDonald, another masterclass in the Group 2 Matriarch Stakes here at the 2,000 metres, and gets...
So brave was Cirileo Miss Declan Bates, but just walked to the line, and being nailed right on it was Hinged, and has got up to win it by a head on the line. Hinged, James McDonald's 8th winner of the week. And Chris Waller.
Matriarch Stakes, been a good race for Chris Waller and J-Mac in recent years. They combined with a Tissue 2 years ago, of course, her subsequent Champion Stakes successes. After that, Cirileo Miss looked poised to pinch this one, but was run down in the latter stages. Lady in Pink also has had a brilliant spring for the Corstens Larkin operation.
Yeah, look, Hinged has been very consistent. It's just been such a long time since I went, so it was the right man to get on it, because Hinged had promised a lot but hadn't delivered. But, you know, after the win, it's easy to say afterwards, well, this horse had the right form, and it certainly did.
Yeah, and back in class probably. Yeah, and back in class probably a little bit too. Back to mares, sort of 2,000, well placed.
Not much.
The Darley Champions Sprint, the VRC Champions Mile, and then the Tab Champion Stakes at 12, 1,600 and 2,000 respectively. What a fantastic 3 races we've got to look forward to, and a star have been the winners of the Darley Champion Sprint in the 2020s. And Ben, for you, it's a winning return to Flemington for Giga Kick.
I'm hoping it can be. He's the horse that I think might still be on the up this preparation. He really improved from his second.
I like all of them, as you'd expect. What a race and what a field of beautiful horses. I'm with Giga Kick. I thought he looked absolutely...
Mark with Sportsbet. Bella Nipotina, she got out towards that 480 mark. Just tickled back into 450, got sort of, I think 470 might have been her top price. There's Giga Kick. They're firm enough without really tightening up. The horses that they want to back, here they come. Number 6, Sunshine in Paris for J-Mac. Overpass for Bjorn Baker, who's already won a race down the straight this afternoon. And also the 7...
Sunshine in Paris, the market likes. 7 into 6. Overpass is 550 out to 650. We're holding more on Bell of the rest. Right to party with the Flemington form. $26 each way bets. What he really...
A bit edgy. Racing. Bella Nipotina on the outside, broke quickly. Estriella and Overpass in the inside gates are going to lead the race early. It's Estriella, Overpass, and then Sunshine in Paris. Bellatrix Star. Lady Laguna isn't too far away. Also in that group of horses is Barraquil, followed then by Giga Kick. Bella Nipotina would probably spot the lead about 5 lengths at this stage. Stretton Angel as well back. Private Life, I Am Unstoppable, and Right to Party as they head to the outside fence. 650 metres to go. It's Estriella just just in front of Overpass, Bellatrix Star and Bella Nipotina the outside. They were followed by Barraquil. Back in the field, Lady Laguna snatched up behind Sunshine in Paris. Then came Stretton Angel, who's the widest of the middle of the course. Giga Kickers behind them waited with Private Life and I Am Unstoppable. 300 to go. It says Triella Overpass together. Barraquil, Bella Nipotina makes a line of 4, and they were followed by Stretton Angel right to Party. It's Barraquil just in front of Stretton Angel. Bella Nipotina the outside, and right to Party's coming at them all. And Sunshine in Paris is coming through. Right to Party at the 50. Sunshine in Paris driving. Sunshine in Paris has won from right to Party. Bella Nipotina, and then Stretton Angel. Further back in the field was Private Life, and then came out deeper Giga Kick next to Barraquil from Lady Laguna, Estriella Overpass, Bellatrix Star, and I Am Unstoppable.
Yeah. We're running out of superlatives. We are. What about that? A stunning finish over 1,200 metres, going right down, Gator, right down to the wire.
He just didn't know where to look at the 100. That's elite racing it. It's bare Sunshine in Paris, hopelessly held up in behind them, but J-Max, like Moses, just finds a pathway and bursts through. Bella Nipotina went down swinging as she always does.
James McDonald wins this race for the 4th time. The 4th time, and that's now 9. He's heading towards another Ron Hutchison award. Can he make it double figures? Of course, he rides later Fangirl, who's a star miler in the Champions Mile, and of course Via Sistina. So his day is not over yet. He's also got the favourite.
Sunshine in Paris held up at a key stage, burst through to defeat Right to Party at any old odds. The Flemington specialist has gone enormous. Bella Nipotina was in front, a fair way out, but hasn't been able to sustain the gallop over 1,200 metres this afternoon on the straight course runs. Another placing, but Sunshine in Paris is...
And what an outstanding race it was, and what a ride this is from James McDonald. I mean, to...
You can hold on to your horse. If you're the last one to be coming off the bit, and you do need those breaks to come at the right time, it can really help you. See Bella Nipotina a little bit exposed on the right-hand side, and then also on the inside, I think it was Right to Party getting exposed a little bit early. James just needed to find the run, but he found it, and she accelerated great at the end.
I think the big thing as well, having the, she's been getting a long way out of her ground, Sunshine in Paris, and the straight afforded her the opportunity to probably be a length and a half off those leaders. And, yeah, it was a great finish there, wasn't it?
The overhead show, the Festival of Racing, Bella Nipotina doing Bella Nipotina things, Stretton Angel very good as well. But on Sunshine in Paris, you comb through her career record so far, she has pretty much not run a bad race so far. She had a surround stakes under her belt at 3. What's the platform for where she might start to sit in our sprinting ranks?
Well, I think at the moment in the sprinting ranks, as we said, it's pretty open. There's not much between, the #1 seed and, number 20. I really honestly believe that, and I think we saw another example of it yesterday. I mean, Sunshine in Paris's run in the Everest was huge. Sort of, once again, it was just sort of not in the right spot. So one horse that's standing up and saying, I'm the best at this point in time, necessarily.
Yeah, I think Bella's, she's holding at a high, consistent level. I think, she had a pretty busy time, but the fact that she was probably, those top, maybe not 20, but probably half a dozen sort of sprinters, run and race sort of can be the difference as to how they go. And even the 3-year-old coming back, from the Guineas, I thought he ran a great race as well.
He was great. He ran a lot better than I thought he would.
Yeah.
Private Life.
I think the extra week, probably missing the Coolmore. I think the extra week waiting for this race probably just helped freshen him up a little bit as well.
Giga Kick didn't have a lot of luck, was heavily backed. It's great to see this horse back in form, has had a really good campaign despite not winning. What did you make of Giga Kick?
Look, I thought he ran okay. He's not the horse he was. I think that's safe to say. I'm not sure he's quite where he was at, but he's still very talented. I think that, the next generation, Bellatrix Star's probably run one run too many there yesterday, and I heard the post-race comments.
Race with Mr. Brightside and Fangirl, the two best backed. Chances are you're about to lose for free.
He's 3rd in the Cox Plate.
How about this field, Nigel? You've just reeled off 10 horses and we've still got broadsiding to come. Some sort of a race. Beat me race, but he might just be like on the up, and they may have worked out how to get the best out of him. They're the two that I'm going to be with, the 10 and the 4. Mr. Brightside, Blinker's first time. He's such a good horse. It wouldn't surprise to see him win. What a race.
Where I start, I'm going to go with Antino. I'm going to put him on top. I just think he looked...
Look at that market now. Prior to Jenny, she got out to $5. She's gone back into $4.60. So every time we dabble a $5, they take it. Mr Brightside's been firm as well. They're now co-favourites at $4.60. Ben's on top selection. Fangirl into $5, holding that quote now, did touch $4.80. Antino, as we said, on the drift, so too Broadside. My Oberon, Steffi Magnetica, both being backed at a price. Have a look at this, though.
$4.60. Mr Brightside being kept very safe in the market. 6 into $5. Broadsiding's out of points, $6.50 to $7.50. Antino's $5.50 back to $8.
Set to jump. Racing in the Champions Mile, and Mr Brightside jumped away very quickly, with also Broadsiding the outside. My Oberon between horses, and there's Pride of Jenny starting to get into her work as well. Steffi Magnetica behind them from Amelia's Jewel, pinstriped out deeper on the track, and then came New Energy, Von Hawk, Fangirl. Antino was last. Pride of Jenny looks to cross My Oberon and does so, and perching outside of the speed is the 3-year-old Broadsiding as they head past the 1100 metres. Pride of Jenny by a length and a half, Broadsiding, and then came My Oberon, Amelia's Jewel. Next is Mr Brightside, a length Steffi Magnetica, then pinstriped Von Hawk, New Energy, Fangirl, and Antino is at the tail of the field. Pride of Jenny runs them along, but it's not as fast, usually up to her standards anyway, by about a length and 3/4. Broadsiding My Oberon, and then Amelia's Jewel, Mr Brightside, Steffi Magnetica, pinstripe deeper beyond centre field from Von Hawk, New Energy, Fangirl, and Antino is last. Up around the turn, it's Pride of Jenny in front from Broadsiding, and then My Oberon behind those. Pride of Jenny marginally bringing the field off the rails. Mr Brightside with 2.5 to pick up. Amelia's Jewel, pinstripe, Steffi Magnetica behind them. Fangirl and Antino winding up. They've got to Pride of Jenny. Amelia's Jewel struck the front from My Oberon. Broadsiding, Fangirl and Antino right down the outskirts of the track. Amelia's Jewel at the clock tower with Fangirl, Steffi Magnetica, and Mr Brightside driving through too. Mr Brightside hits the front from Antino, Steffi Magnetica. Mr Brightside, Mr B's back. Mr Brightside's won it. A half Antino, Fangirl or Steffi Magnetica. Behind those horses, Amelia's Jewel, and then came New Energy, pinstripe, Von Hawk. Well back, Pride of Jenny, My Oberon, and at the tail of the field was Broadsiding.
Sheer jubilation for the Hayes team here. Craig Williams guides Mr Brightside to a stunning victory in the VRC Champions Mile. Grace, your elation to say the very least there with Hubby Ben. That was something else.
It's just incredible. I mean, this horse means absolutely everything to everybody at Lindsay Park, to Ben, Will and JD, the trainers. He's now an 8-time Group 1 winner. Craig just had to wait for the gap to appear. And
Group 1, number 8. He's back to his best. Well, he's done Fangirl and Steffi Magnetica, but Mr Brightside has done it again. Ben, Will and JD Hayes, great training performance. Mr Brightside for Craig Williams, who has won 3 of the last 7 renewals of this race. 440 and 150, Mr Brightside. And
oh, that's one of his, if not the best win of his career. That was a fantastic field. And unlike Antino and Fangirl, who had the absolute sweetest runs of all time, he's had to be held up, ducked back to the inside, and still outfinish them all. Best horse at a mile wins. The blinkers have gone on today.
It's just been so consistent, this prep, and today he just landed in a good spot. He flew the gates, and I'm shaking. Which is such a special horse to us, and it was. I was hoping he could get that gap, and he got it, and so strong through the line. Super effort, and well done to all the Lindsay Park.
Brightside, a 2-time winner of the Maccabi Diva at this track and distance, had run 4th, 3rd and 2nd in the 3 previous editions of this race, and he was terrific Hutch in securing his 8th Group 1 victory yesterday.
Yeah, he's a real warrior, isn't he? And I mean, they put the blinkers on yesterday, but he just puts himself, Ollie, in the right spot, this horse, and
relies on a good gate, and like you said, he loves a mile. Yeah, he runs 2,000 in the right conditions to suit, but great miler. Yeah.
They've got to Pride of Jenny. Amelia's Jewel struck the front from My Oberon. Broadsiding, Fangirl and Antino right down the outskirts of the track. Amelia's Jewel at the clock clock tower with Fangirl, Steffi Magnetica and Mr. Brightside driving through too. Mr. Brightside hits the front from Antino, Steffi Magnetica. Mr. Brightside, Mr. B's back. Mr. Brightside's won it. A half Antino, Fangirl or Steffi Magnetica. Behind those horses, Amelia's Jewel.
He's just phenomenal.
He is. Yeah, I mean, it was a. He's so gutsy, and like that was a fantastic race. It was great to see Antino bring that form, of course, from that effortless win as well. I think he's run an absolute bottler. There's a lot of stories out of the race, and I'm sure we're going to touch on a couple of the others as well. But no, he is. He's an absolute ripper, and he's, like I said, he can last. You know, the boys have done a fantastic job, the Hayes boys, in managing him through the preparation, and Craig rides in with a lot of confidence. I love these overhead.
Like you said, Antino run on good from the back.
Yeah.
Nice even tempo without being crazy. They held up Pride of Jenny there a little bit yesterday, but it looked like, you know, her tough campaign, you know, really told on her in the end there. Obviously, she's bled and got 3 months now, so, you know, her bubble burst there yesterday. Antino looks like he's going to be really well suited. Perhaps Hong Kong might suit him, because the genuine run races really seem to suit him, and, you know, if he gets that sort of tempo in Hong Kong, it could be a suitable race for him there.
Yeah, well, this is a, you know, figure. I think Amelia's Jewel had a chance. You know, Fangirl, we know she's she's a real talent in her own right. My Oberon probably just came off a bit. I think that's where Pinstripe's at. And obviously you mentioned the unfortunate, you know, post-race issues with Pride of Jenny.
Yeah, so 3 months becomes retirement in the space of a couple of hours for Pride of Jenny, who's been a terrific horse, but a bit of a comet in some respects too, that it's been really only in the past 12 months that she's been considered amongst the top echelon of Australian racing.
Yeah, she came from nowhere.
His new year. Steffi Magnetica is a horse who's made quite the progression, or not quite.
Yeah, was it the Golden Eagle that she ran in? And, you know, I mean, you know, to get knocked down at that key stage, look, I don't know if she would have won. She was going to go very close, wasn't she? She didn't get that severe piece of interference, so she's racing well. She's going to be a headline act from now on in, and she's right there with them.
We've been waiting for all day. VRC Stina, the Cox Plate winner by 8 lengths. Look at her here. She's $1.55. He won't get the, what was she, $4, $5, $6 for the Cox Plate. $1.55. There's only one other runner under double-figure odds. That's her stablemate of Tissue. The horses that they've backed, the main stablemate of Tissue. The horses that they've backed, the main one outside of the favourite is the one without a fight, who hasn't raced since winning the Melbourne Cup last year. $23 to $12.
Yeah, stunning track record, smashing 8-length Cox Plate winner. Look, huge chance she could be flat coming through that, but look, she might be able to rate down 6 or 7 lengths and still win today.
They've got to try and take down a Cox Plate superstar, Ben.
Yeah, and she picks herself as a top selection in the race. The one that I...
Market, I'll explain to you why that's the case. VRC Stina, $1.55. She's been rock solid. Now, have a look at number 1 without a fight. He was backed early, 23 to 12. He hasn't really got soft late for a horse first up off a year.
3 racing. VRC Stina away cleanly. Docklands the last out without a fight. Duke de Sessa, LES and Nugget push up with Royal Champion. Deny Knowledge in the black caps 5 deep and also forcing up. Then came VRC Stina, well back in the field early. Future Hina going back to about 3rd or 4th last. And they were followed back in the field by Without a Fight, Arapaho and Docklands. So it's Deny Knowledge heading towards Chiquita Lodge, 1,250 metres out by 2 lengths Duke de Sessa, Future History, a length and a quarter Royal Champion, 2.5 to Nugget, followed by LES as the leader just extends that margin up front midway. VRC Stina has 4 behind her. They are a Tissue with Without a Fight, Docklands and Arapaho. 9.50 out, Deny Knowledge by a length and 3/4 Duke de Sessa, Future History, a length and a half away in the field in 4th Royal Champion, 2 lengths away Nugget, LES, a length VRC Stina. Now let's see the favourites 8 off the lead, and then a Tissue, Without a Fight, Docklands and Arapaho. Coming up towards the corner, Deny Knowledge about a length in front of Duke de Sessa, Future History 3 wide, a length and a quarter Royal Champion, then Nugget, VRC Stina showing a little bit more leather, she's 5 off the lead now, then came LES, a Tissue, Without a Fight, Docklands and Arapaho. Deny Knowledge at the 400 metres from Future History, a length away. VRC Stina right down the outside. McDonald hasn't moved yet. Then came a Tissue and Duke de Sessa. Now he goes for the star. 200 to go. VRC Stina 2 lengths in front of a Tissue, Future History. Then came Without a Fight. But VRC Stina is drawing away the star of the spring. And J-Mac a perfect hit again. VRC Sistina by 3 at Tissue without a fight, Future History. Then Arapaho Docklands, Deny Knowledge, LES, Duke de Cesar, Royal Champion, and Nugget at the end.
It's a joy to watch, isn't it? Both what we saw there from the superstar that is VRC Sistina and the bloke in the saddle as well. 10 Cup Carnival wins yet again for James.
James has said that she's quite an awkward horse to ride. She's not really very comfortable, and as Francesca said, she's just a really weird shape. So I think that just goes to show Francesca in the race.
I mean, there's a reason why she was picked up as a yearling for 5,000 guineas. I mean, absolutely nobody wanted her. She's an unconventional-looking creature.
You've seen the best at their best.
That's it. The world's highest rated horse just came to Flemington on the biggest stage and made a mess of them. Let's not muck around. She looked the winner from that race 1,000 metres out. Cruised to them just like a Cox Plate. She's twice as good as them. She's going past them in a jog. She could run backwards and beat a few of them, I think.
And one of the most exciting...
He was giggling to himself, James McDonald. 10 wins for the week, and VRC Sistina has just absolutely wowed us over the last couple of weeks.
Watching that contest, it was like a procession in the home straight. Too good for a stablemate in a Tissue, who's been brave, winner of this race last year, and a great return from the Melbourne Cup winner of 2023 in Without a Fight, who has run into third. But she is undoubtedly the best horse in the country, and it isn't even a fight.
It's not our...
That was awesome. Everything just went to beautifully planned. I had the horse to really give me a smooth ride, and 600, 400, I was just like changing, and she just
the 300. It was like the Melbourne Cup. They say wait till the clock tower. The clock tower's pretty close to home.
I don't wait for it. Just let her go. She'll do the rest.
Where can she get to? She's a 7-year-old, but only lightly raced.
Yeah, exactly. You're 100% right. She's lightly raced. She's just coming into her own, and like I said during the week, she thrives on work. It's great for the whole team there. Chris and his team have done an incredible job, and look, it always comes with risks. Running a horse after a Cox Plate like she did, and it's like driving.
he ran to words. It's
To a Tissue, the defending champ, had her fellow mare VRC Sistina for company, and the Cox Plate winner, an 8th length dominant performance at the Valley a fortnight ago. It was 2 3/4 lengths yesterday, and it could have been perhaps a lot more, Ollie.
Yeah, well, she looked the lock of the day, didn't she? The shortest price favourite, well backed, in a truly run race here as a jockey. That's probably what you want when you're on the best horse in the race, to get her.
History a length away. VRC Sistina right down the outside. McDonald hasn't moved yet. Then came a Tissue and Duke de Cesar. Now he goes for the star. 200 to go. VRC Sistina 2 lengths in front of a Tissue. Future History. Then came Without a Fight. But VRC Sistina is drawing away the star of the spring, and J Mac a perfect 10 again. VRC Sistina by 3 at Tissue Without a Fight.
Just a dominant win, wasn't it? And can I just say one thing? Channel 9, can you please just give us the on-course shots, you know?
It was confusing, wasn't it?
I'm all for a little overhead shot or a tracking shot now and again, but, you know, you come around the turn, you don't know where they are, you know? So we just, you know, we have the... You know, Racing.com do the coverage all year round, but we're taking Channel 9 shots there. You know, a little shot here and there, a Mickey Mouse shot, but can you just give us an on-course shot so we know where we're at?
Yeah, I think the normal, like you said, the normal shots we need, and then if you...
You know, she's Chinese-owned, obviously. You do have the QE2, I think, in Hong Kong, which probably falls, timing-wise, pretty good after the Melbourne and Sydney Autumn, so that could be a possibility. But, you know, whether she needs to go back there again or not, I don't know. I mean, they've got a lot of choices.
Oh, Liz used to have a very good record at the in the Vars there, so that's not an issue. Yeah, he'll want her to go to Hong Kong, I think, and race in his colours and showcase, I think. So I reckon you're right, Ollie. I think that's spot on.
Well, is it the potential crossover point where you get...
What's the point?
Without a Fight. What a return. Did you think we were going to see that from him first up?
Well, he's a good horse, you know, coming back from injury. You know, you think he's going to improve off that, and I think he's going to Hong Kong, is that right?
Yeah, he's going to Vars.
He'll
run well too. That was a fantastic run. I mean, what a training effort too, you know, a year off the scene, taking on race-hardened horses and very gallant over 2,000 metres. They would have been tickled pink with that run, and you know what? He's going to tackle some...
And what of a Tissue who has never been the #1 seed in the Wallace stable, but has made this week her own. I mean, 3 straight years she's been able to turn up and run excellent on both Saturdays.
Yeah, she's a star, and she loves Flemington, Ollie.
Yeah. Very
Ride many like that. They just love one. You know, loved Flemington or.
Fiorente was really good at Flemington.
Yeah.
You know, won first and second in Melbourne Cup, won the Australian Cup. Obviously, he didn't last long enough, but you know, Chris Waller's great at getting him to come back year after year and perform consistently. Yeah.
Week 2024 are staggering, and it's very healthy, and racing does internal conflict and negativity better than most things, but this is such a positive. 285,000 people making their way out to the 4 days, and a really good cross-section across all 4 meetings, but a different demographic. There was something for everybody, whether you wanted... Racing does...
Pisces in on race day. $2.90 back out to $3 though, your favourite, and he's just holding on, Coleman, so the battle between the top 2 in the market continues with punters.
Hold them, and they're racing. Runway Ruler was the worst out. Cavity Bay back to second last. Coleman began quickly, will lead with Pisces. Cottagio took the trail today, and I Am the small group Runway Ruler. Coleman the leader to the side, 800 metres to go, but I Am Velvet's there for company. A length and a half, Ruta Royale, who took the trail in the outside position. Then on the inside is Cottagio. Underneath of it, 2 further back is Pisces, Cavity Bay, and last of all is Runway Ruler. Coming up towards the 600 metres, the leader Coleman from I Am Velvet. Cottagio third from Ruta Royale. A length and a half away, Pisces, about 3 off the lead, and McDonald's about to move at 3 and 4 deep from Cavity Bay and Runway Ruler. So it's Coleman the first to straighten from I Am Velvet. Pisces to the outside. Cottagio needs room. And then came Ruta Royale at the 200 metres. Here's Pisces on the outside, took the front, drew a length and a half. Ruta Royale, I Am Velvet, Coleman wax on from Cavity Bay. But it's all Pisces, such a sweet mover. Lovely gelding came away, and Pisces untouched, almost won it by 2 1/4. Ruta Royale. Cottagio third from I Am Velvet, Cavity Bay. Coleman tired, and last Runway Ruler.
Well, it's James McDonald chest, everyone else checkers at the moment. 50 spring rides in Melbourne, 13 wins, 14 placings, 5 Group 1s, a Group 2, and now 3 Group 3s. Ride 51 will be Aliana.
The gate to just get that cover from that wind there yesterday, and Coleman was a surprise. I didn't expect him to see leading. His preparation hasn't gone quite right this time, and you know, he hasn't. You know, he was in the wrong spot there, obviously, yesterday, leading into that wind. But Pisces just had the perfect trail run, cover from the wind, was able to peel off and had this race won a long way from home. Also, Cottagio, who you kind of thought would probably be the leader, and I could see what Jai was thinking, probably looking to get some cover from that wind, but then got stuck behind that leading group that was working into that wind and wasn't able to get his momentum up.
Benny, I think there was a couple of people who had maybe slight reservations about...
James McDonald and Chris Waller trying to claim a hat-trick of 1,000 guineas with the 2 Aliana, who was 6 weeks between runs when winning the Reginald Allen and then was simply dominant in the Carbine.
And that 6-week break is given...
But it is all about Aliana, and she's into $3.10, and once again, want to reiterate, half the hold here. This is a really good go for a Group 1 on a big Saturday. James McDonald, Chris Waller, they have to beat the favourite, says the market. Race 7, number 2, Zetong, is holding quite firm around that 460. Stage and Screen at a price.
Run stalls are back, and they're racing. Lovely cut, missed the kick by about 3/4 of a length. 2 down, Lizzie jumped well with Stage and Screen and Supercilious. Another Prophet's not too far away. Zaitung behind those horses as 2 down, Lizzie works up the hill with Stage and Screen to share the front, and Supercilious kicks up. 3 across the track, another Prophet fourth, followed by Zaitung. Then came Let's Fly. Around those fillies at that stage was Double Market. Then came a length and a half away, Dominette, a lovely cut, Benagil. Aliana third last from GG's Miss Truth, and Matisse's last. 2 down, Lizzie eventually took it up. 1,000 metres to go on the top corner by a length and a quarter, Stage and Screen. They were followed in third by Supercilious, another Prophet. Then came Double Market, who's trapped wide. Further back in the field, Zaitung and Let's Fly dominated between fillies as they reached the 800 metres. Next in the races, Lovely Cut, Benagil. Aliana with 2 behind her, GG's Miss Truth and Matisse. 2 down, Lizzie is the leader. 650 metres to go. Just snuck 2 lengths, Stage and and Screen Supercilious. Another profit out wider on the course, getting going. Double Market and Let's Fly also about 3 or 4 off the lead. Zaitung the inside, followed by Dominetta. Aliana's hooked to the outside with 7 to pick up. Benagil's back with her, and then came Lovely Cut. It's 2 down. Lizzie into the running. 300 metres to go by a length and a half. Stage and Screen, another profit. Supercilious up on the inside, followed by Zaitung. Matisse from a long way back, and Benagil, another profit. Moves up to 2 down. Lizzie at the 150. Another profit. Surges on from 2 down. Lizzie. Aliana's absolutely flying. It's too late. Another profit beat Aliana, who jumped out of the ground. A photo third. 2 down. Lizzie, Matisse and Benagil. Followed then by Lovely Cut and Zaitung, Dominetta, Stage and Screen. From Double Market, Gigi's Miss Truth, Supercilious and Let's Fly.
Ethan Brown's got himself Group 1, number 5. He's bookended his spring. Mornington Glory and Amoya, and now another profit, an upset win in the 1,000 guineas. It's been a race that's traditionally shot pretty straight in relation to the favourites. Well, the favourite was flashing, and maybe in 2 more bounds would have been your winner for the 3rd straight year for James McDonald and Chris Waller, but it's not to be the case, and the celebrations are...
They've run 8, 2, 1 and 7. Zaitung will run 4th with Benagil looking as...
Noting 4 key points involving the race favourite Aliana that are in the steward's report. When placed under pressure at the 600, failed to quicken. Upon straightening, momentarily tightened for room. Point 3, failed to improve into a run between Dominetta and Matisse. And point 4, perhaps the most important one, Ben, according to rider James McDonald, failed to handle Caulfield first time.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that when we get to the turn. Getting to the turn here. James's Ollie, if we bring you in here, he's already asking her for an effort, but she's not really responding. And the gap tightens between Dominetta and Matisse, who gets to her outside, and she just isn't able to go through it. And then once Matisse gets around, watch the way she launches.
Yeah, she failed to respond around the bend when she was under pressure, and it wasn't until she got pretty much balanced up. And she was tight in the early part of the straight there, and she gets clear air here, gets balanced back up. She makes up huge ground late to look unlucky. But the winner was obviously the beneficiary of a perfect run and ride in the race.
So it was a 3.
Rupert Clark, good lordy me. Here we go. Karen Maher has the top 3 in the market. We opened up $4 each at 2. It was another Will, Jimmy Star, and Jimmy Star went crunchy. But it's another Will who has had the avalanche of money on a race day and a liability in the book. So here we go. $2.70 you're playing with now. Jimmy Star trims back up. Did sneak out to $3.30 at one stage today. Back into $3.10. Now, what else is...
Field is set for Sir Rupert Clark.
Right, clear!
Stand by and away they go. Pretty good line. Roll on High goes back to the end with Tuvalu and Southport Tycoon. Run, Harry, run. Fired Out is one of the initial leaders. Has its bib in front in the opening stages from War Machine. Charmstone behind those horses. Gentleman Roy is forcing up, and then came another Will outside of Jimmy Star, the fence. A length and a half away, Climbing Star. And there's old Buffalo River now surging around the outside as he likes to do. So there's going to be no peace. Over racing Stapati midfield. 2 lengths, Komochi, Bitter Creek, Southport Tycoon, Roll on High and Tuvalu. Run, Harry, run is the leader. 800 metres to go from Gentleman Roy, who's working up around the outside with Buffalo River. War Machine behind those leaders. A length away, Jimmy Star in 5th place. Then came another Will. Next to Party and Charmstone from Climbing Star. 2 lengths, Komochi, Bitter Creek and Wellback, Southport Tycoon, Tuvalu and Roll on High. It's Run, Harry, run before the corner at the 400 metres by a length to War Machine, who's trying to grind it out. Jimmy Star needs a run badly behind those horses. Then came Gentleman Roy. Charmstone's run up behind them. Another Will is coming on, and they were followed next in the field by Komochi. Another Will went to the front. 200 metres to go. Komochi's a real threat. Another Will, and Nick in front. Komochi trying to big him up. Another Will grabbed by Komochi. Komochi just in front. Komochi wins it. And Nick, another Will Stapati and Southport Tycoon, followed by Tuvalu. Next to finish in the race, Climbing Star, Bitter Creek, Charmstone, Buffalo River, and Jimmy Star had no luck. Was seeing backsides all the way up the straight. Behind those horses then was Run, Harry, run, Gentleman Roy, and Roll on High amongst the tail enders.
Craig Williams becomes the most successful jockey in the history of the Rupert Clark. Willow's 7th victory in the race. He's had an incredible time.
Dropping back in trip, Ben, from a midfield effort in the Empire Rose on Derby Day. Gary Portelli having won this race previously with Rebel Dane when it was a September race over a decade ago.
Yeah, and Craig Williams, as you see, had some decisions to make early. He thought, and like most did, that he'd probably be pressing forward, looking to find the back of another will and maybe slot in, but went to plan B and settled back off the pace in behind Stapati in the second half of the field. And it was a good place to be yesterday. We had strong northerly winds. It wasn't an easy day to be working into those winds on pace. And have a look at the sweet run Camachi gets. Stapati's caught 3 wide just on the outside of another will. And, yeah, with the lightweight back to probably her best distance, Camachi was able to take advantage of the situation and get the victory.
Camachi's a real threat. Another will, and Nick in front. Camachi trying to pick him up. Another will grabbed by Camachi. Camachi just in front. Camachi wins it. And Nick, another will to party.
So mares have won 3 of the last 4 and from wide draws. And on that, Ollie, you won this race ultimately for Camachi.
Yeah, she had the absolute perfect run in the race. I thought another will had his opportunity, but there was a little bump, Ollie, wasn't there, earlier in the race where he just wanted to shy in, and then he was momentarily held up. You know, I think we're probably clutching at straws. Ultimately, I think he had his chance, but she did have the perfect run. You look at Jimmy Starr back to the inside. You know, Damien Lane kicked up from gate 1 and parked in behind the speed, and the gap just never appeared behind Run Harry Run and War Machine, and he's gone to the line absolutely hard held.
While another
months.
Yeah, 2 for 2 over the distance, has got an impeccable record, probably should have nearly been unbeaten so far this preparation. When he
here to take on Briasa as our tab lay of the day. So he's the best price here at $3.20, and you'd expect him to get out, but he's been backed very, very heavily. So they're dangling the carrot and the punters are jumping on. $2.80 out to $3.20 now. Open $5. Far Too Easy is at $4.60 out from $3.80 on the second line. $5.50 in from 6 for Private Eye, who's been rock solid. Coal Crusher, his stablemate's fierce, and Chrysaor heads the rest of them pretty solid at $23 or.
And they're racing. Far Too Easy was last out of the stalls. Felix Majestic fired out and he rockets to the lead. Going forward, Coast Watch. Coal Crusher coming across from the deep, and Brias is up there as well, but he's posted wide. Fearson digging up on the inside. Then came Rustic Steel. He's just off the speed. Far Too Easy's got past a few runners. They include Chrysaor, Coat Heel, Diamond Diesel, and Private Eyes right back to last. It is to go. Fearson is third, then Briasa. He's going to have to do it tough. He's 3 wide around Coast Watch. Behind them, Royal Merchant, then Rustic Steel. He's getting onto the back of them before the turn from Far Too Easy. Diamond Diesel, Chrysaor, Coat Heel, and Private Eyes hard-ridden last into the straight. 400 metres to go, and Felix Majestic sneaks away by 1. On Coal Crusher, Briasa still coming. Back behind them, Coast Watch, Rustic Steel, Far Too Easy with it all to do. Chrysaor's ahead of him. Felix Majestic joined by Briasa. Chrysaor's running on, so's Rustic Steel, but Felix and Briasa are fighting it out. Felix Majestic, Briasa, they draw down to the line. Bob and go might be Briasa. Has he done it? He's lunged at Felix Majestic, and it's very close. Heads are bobbing. Wait for the judge. As for third, Coal Crusher, he was brave. Then Chrysaor, Rustic Steel. Back behind those was Coast Watch from Pearson. Then Private Eye.
Briasa may have got there. Felix Majestic certainly in front at this point. Briasa pushing hard, pushing hard. It's a bob, and from that it looks like he's won. And one he has, and he's won with a little margin at the end. This is a very, very good horse.
He has now won 6 from 7, including a Group 2 hunter. He has gone through the grades. The thing about this, he sat 4 wide the trip, no cover, hectic speed, and he's flashed over the top of him. I mean, we all thought midway through that's a very impressive effort to win over a field like that in that sort of manner.
Yeah, 6 from 7.
Sort of manner.
Yeah, 6 from 7. I mean, it's a remarkable record, and when you see the horse.
are back and racing. Robrick away fairly. Barrackeel began very, very fast to the lead, followed by Philosopher, Oscar's Fortune, Ray Magnerio, and Who Dares isn't too far away. Mustering through as Robrick after 250 metres, then Cloudland, Cristilli, DePore. Next in the field, pounding Moby Dick, Nadal. Towards the back is Spacewalk and also Arkansas Kid. Philosopher is burning rubber at the 750 and crossed over to lead Oscar's Fortune, and Barrackeel third the inside. 2 lengths Ray Magnerio. They were followed by Robrick and Who Dares a length to Cloudland, not on the track. They were followed by Cristilli, DePore, Moby Dick, Arkansas Kid, pounding Nadal. Spacewalkers last. Philosopher led the Meteorite. 400 metres to go with on the outside Barrackeel, Oscar's Fortune next. For the back, Robrick, Ray Magnerio, followed by Who Dares, and Cloudland is out deeper on the track, but Barrackeel lets down at the 200 metres. Surge 2 legs in front of Ray Magnerio, Oscar's Fortune, and Nadal from a mile back. Barrackeel, 100 to go, stopping. Here's Nadal. Nadal's the fastest. Bang, a big winner on the Meteorite from Ray Magnerio, and also Barrackeel in photos. They were followed next in the field by Moby Dick in company with...
No doubt going to be more and more scratchings. Muramasa's come out of the zipping. Make note, Muramasa out of the zipping classic horse. Let's have a look at the market for the Sandown Guineas.
Never is our clear favourite. Did open at $2.55. Got into $2.60. Now back out to $3.10, and only a few moments ago, $3.40. Bitter Creek $4.60 out to $5 as well.
And they're racing, and somewhere from barrier number 3, a little slow. Coolmore jumped well with Kachink. And also out wider on the course, General Relativity. Snitsanova's top rank as well. My Zephyr the fence somewhere got to 6th, followed by Bitter Creek, French Ruler, Pisces, and he's off the back section. 1,000 to go, and it's Coolmore who settles the tempo here for Craig Williams. Out clear by about a length to in second place, General Relativity, and they're 2 lengths in front of next Kachink and My Zephyr, Snitsanova. There's no pressure. Further back in the field somewhere, then Pisces in a very awkward place at the moment. Bitter Creek next. French Ruler, Bring Forth, Style is Secret. So it's Coolmore in front, approaching the 600 marker by a length to General Relativity, and then came Kachink and My Zephyr. Further back is Snitsanova. Then somewhere Pisces the fence has a struggling horse in front of it. Bitter Creek around those, and then came French Ruler, Bring Forth, and Style is Secret as Coolmore really stacked them up and now went for home at the top of the straight. At the 300, Coolmore 2 lengths, Snitsanova, Bitter Creek behind those horses, and then came French Ruler, Bring Forth, and Pisces. Coolmore at the 200, joined by Snitsanova. Bitter Creek the outside, then French Ruler, Bring Forth, Snitsanova at the 100. Bitter Creek is trying to pick her up, but the filly is packing too many punches. Snitsanova has won it. A neck Bitter Creek somewhere, Bring Forth, and then French Ruler. Further back in the field, Coolmore, and then Style is Secret. Pisces, Neville.
The great day for Kieran Mark continues. Snitsanova, the filly, wins the Sandown Guineas. Lizzie, well done.
In the day as well. Now, Arapaho, for a lot of this build-up to this particular race, has been our favourite here at PointsBet. As short as $3.90, you'll now find Arapaho at $4.40. So some support coming for other horses in this race, including Naval College, who has won 2 of his 3 starts at this distance. 7 into 6s.
With Mancayan in 1. Racing in the Zipping Classic. Mancayan away okay. Arapaho was the best to jump with Kingswood, and out wider Smokin' Romans and Serpentiners pushing up as well as Arapaho's going to take the sit, and Star of India's pushing up the bolter. Midfield and wide at this stage, Naval College, Ladonda v Mancayan, then Berkeley Square, side of the course with 1,000 metres to go. Smokin' Romans about to be tested by Serpentine, and they're 2 lengths in front of Kingswood, and then Star of India. A length and 3/4 Arapaho, who's snookered 5th on the inside of Naval College. Ladonda v 3 wide from Mancayan. They're about to stoke it up. Berkeley Square 3rd last, and then a gap to Star Vega and Little Mix. So it's Smokin' Romans. 600 metres to go, has completely controlled the race so far from Serpentine under pressure. Kingswood needs an out behind them. Star of India going backwards. Arapaho's got out. King moves it to the outside, followed by Naval College, Ladonda V, and back behind them Berkeley Square. So it's Smokin' Romans in front. 300 metres to go. Can't quite sprint away from them though, and here comes Arapaho. Arapaho on the outside joins Smokin' Romans. They set 2 at the 200. 200, but Arapaho under hands and heels went to the front, shown the whip, 3/4 Smoke and Romans. They gapped the others. Arapaho was pulling clear from Smoke and Romans, and Arapaho won the Zipping Classic. 3/4 Smoke and Romans, 4 or 5 lengths. Barclay Square up for third. Then Serpentine, Kingswood, a gap in the field, Ladonda V, Naval College, Little Mix, a long gap, Star Vega, Mankay.
Rachel King, not a lot of experience riding at Caulfield, but giving Arapaho an absolute peach of a ride there. Aided by an inside barrier, settled third pair.
Race 90% of our total turnover in this race is with the one. Open at $2.40, is now sitting at $2.25. Arkansas Kid got the rain that it was looking for, so opened at $6.
Racing Tuvalu, middle of the line out. Arkansas Kid broke away very well, straight to the lead from Warney, and then came out deeper. Run Harry Run to third outside of Tuvalu, and there's Buffalo River out wide, about to surge around those. They were followed by Coco Jambu, Tamerlane, and then on the inside next is Well Wold, and Roll on High is last. 800 to go. Buffalo River has gone to the front, as he loves to do, and he's about to sool it right up by about 2.5 lengths to Warney, and they were followed by Arkansas Kid. 1.5 lengths Run Harry Run, Tuvalu 50 inside, then Coco Jambu, Tamerlane, and well back in the field, Well Wold and Roll on High. Buffalo River just coming back to them as they come up towards the corner. Today came back under the jockey from Warney. Arkansas Kid runs into a dead end. Tuvalu, it's outside. Arkansas Kid got out. Then Tuvalu and Coco Jambu. So it's Warney at the 250. Arkansas Kid yet to be called upon, and now lets down and goes to the lead. Wellwall's getting out late. Arkansas Kid, 100 metres to go. It's not over yet. Wellwall coming at Arkansas Kid. Arkansas Kid and Wellwall ahead, Bobber. Photo finish this. Wellwall, Arkansas Kid from Warney, and then Tuvalu with Buffalo River behind those horses. Coco Jambu.
Over the 1,400 metres, he hit the front, and Wellwall in the new stable, formerly with Chris Waller and Al Shakab racing, now with the new ownership, and they've got an immediate return. Gun ride, super performance.
Path and finding the line strongly. What was disappointing has to be...
For the Group 1 feature, it's the Swan Draft Railway Stakes, Group 1 level over the mile, one of our most historic races.
Certainly is, and our
Alive at Ascot, light infantryman. He has been avalanched in betting. He is your 360 favourite ahead of the Swan Draft Railway Stakes as we now head to Tessa Daly.
And the first to get going, Comfort Me, won the start, won it comfortably from Magnificent Andy. Search and Rocks got into stride quickly, and flying around them now, Belclair. So the Sydney mare's going to lead them into the back straight. Belclair burned them off and went to the front from Comfort Me. Going forward soon after the start, Port Lockroy straight up running second. Sox Nation around the outside, stranded 3 deep when they'd settled down. Bustler's back just behind them. 1.5 lengths Light Infantryman. Magnificent Andy down on its inside soon after the start, and up there as well Tricks of the Trade. The speed comes off. Zip away back there. Casino 17, Triple Missile. Mojo Rhythm a little wide and pulling, and followed further back by Super Smink, then Democracy Manifest, and Let's Gallivant last at the 800 mark in the railway, and Belclair led the way, steadied up by Nash. She's on top, 3/4 Belclair. Running second, Sox Nation, 1.5 lengths away. Comfort Me getting a great run for Watson, and then Port Lockroy, followed by Bustler. Last year's winner, though, doing it tough. 3 deep behind them. Search and Rocks, no run. Magnificent Andy. Tricks of the Trades there. Zipaway's covered plenty of ground. Light Infantryman with McDonald hard at work coming into the turn. Belclair straightened up. Sox Nation joined it. Port Lockroy makes a line of 3. Bustler's behind the Magnificent Andy. No run. Comfort Me for the moment. Tricks of the Trade. Mojo Rhythm further back. Sox Nation hits the front, however, at the 100. Sox Nation clear. Comfort Me gets a run rate, but now comes through on the inside, but Sox Nation's won it. Sox Nation has won the Railway Stakes from a very tight photo. Comfort Me, Super Smink charging right up on the rail. Let's Gallivant is there. And Zip Away, Magnificent Andy, Triple Missile, followed by Mojo Rhythm, Casinos. Port Lockroy. Port Lockroy is the winner. Number 12, Port Lockroy, my apologies. Port Lockroy is the winner here. Clint Johnston, my humblest apologies, racegoers, but Port Lockroy is the winner of the Railway Stakes. I think I've called this Ox Nation. From Freeze the Millions is the winner, Clint Johnston Porter, and a great result for Johnston Porter.
Crowd here at Ascot, but first let's get to know the trainer of our favourite in Overpass, in Björn Baker, a little bit better. Tim and Overpass, as well as Josh Parr, have absolutely dominated the 1200 metre start here at Ascot.
3 times he's been here, 3 wins, all 1200, all weight for age. Josh Parr knows this horse inside and out and rides it.
For Björn Baker and Josh Parr.
What more can we say about him here, Lockie? We've had 2 quackers so far here in the West, and he's won both of them, and he's the reigning winner of the Winterbottom Stakes. He was electrifying in the Sydney Stakes first up at Randwick. He actually...
The 2 is a Western Empire for Grant Alana Williams, Willie Pike in the saddle.
He was a wonderful 3-year-old, he was a wonderful 4-year-old, and then he lost his way for a long while, and now barrier number 1's an awkward part for this mare for mine. If she gets crossed early by Man Crush at 100 to 1.
Stakes as Overpass makes his way up now into the gates, and they're set and they're ready. By Often Racing, Bravo Centurion missed it a half a length. Overpass doesn't have the speed to cross. They're booting up hard. Now Bravo Centurion starting to accelerate. Snow Dome is pushing up on his inside seat after the start from Almighty Class. Lady Laguna, Man Crush a length away. Then Red Can Man being followed by Kripolenko. Hot Z, Western Empire settled further back in the field. Then came Rope the Bin. Mahaba's well off the speed as well, being followed by Rock and Rupert. Saloon Bar laced up heels at the tail end. They eventually sorted it all out at the 500. Bravo Centurion went to the lead by a length. Parr had Overpass up running second now. A length and a half to Lady Laguna. Down on the inside, covered by, as they come towards the home corner on the outside, Snow Dome, who's up there running fourth, trailed by Almighty Class, but he's being hard ridden, and Hot Z cuts the corner as Overpass goes up, takes the lead, races away from them. Overpass drifts out to the middle of the course, shot 3 clear. Lady Laguna runs on, so does Hot Z. It's Overpass down inside the last 100. He's nicely clear. All interest in the minors. Overpass, par for the course. Overpass, it's 4 for 4 at Ascot. Wins another Winterbottom. Mahaba rattled home on the inside. Might have grabbed second from the roughie. Hot Z roped them in. Rock and Rupert, Man Crush, laced up heels, made ground. Lady Laguna next home. Followed further back behind them. Western Empire Class struggled to the corner and is back there with those amongst the tail-enders. He is a bona fide star. He takes his prize earnings today, Overpass, up in the vicinity of $10 million. Beats Mahaba and Hot Z. Rope them in. Will be fourth.
Are about to enter the mounting yard ahead of the final Group 1 of the Australian racing calendar year.
And it's that weight for age, and it's over 1,800 metres, and it brings together a field that really a lot to like about him, Lockie. He's already a Group 1 winner. He's already a weight for age winner. 2 starts ago at Rose Hill, he won 1,850 metres internationally, so he should be able to more than measure up at a $10 quote.
Lovely, rich, glowing coat.
And the 16 is the 3-year-old filly, Storyville, Grant Alana Williams and Willie Pike, with only 50 kilos on her back.
Willie Pike's done all the hard work. Now it's up to Storyville. The winner of the Champion Fillies, the winner 7 days later at the WA Guineas, now 50 kilos weight for age. Previous winners in the last 10 years, Perfect Reflection, Arcadia Queen, KC, Amelia's Jewel, all 3-year-old fillies with 50 kilos. Can Willie...
The 2 punters are keen on. In terms of the interstate radius, we've got attrition down to the third line of betting at $5. Looks a cracking race. If you're interested...
They're ready to run, racing in the northerly. And the first of them to get going was the filly, Storyville, from the inside. She actually won the break over Bustler. Zip away going forward. Not a lot of speed early, so Maracino puts the foot on the accelerator. Comes across with Let's Gallivant. Light Infantry Man also charging forward. The old boy takes up the running, however. Maracino from 1,000 metres to go. Maracino takes a breather. Leads the way by 3/4 over Light Infantry Man. Over on the rails, Bustler's running third. Let's Gallivant fourth, followed then by New Merion. After a length came Zip Away. Storyville, the filly, bailed up near the inside. Next at the 700 ahead of Admiration Express. A length away then came Attrition, and Democracy Manifest is down near the inside. Back there with those Sox Nation. After one to Super Smick. She's trying to find runs between horses at the moment. Casino 17, Mojo Rhythm, then River Rubicon and Curramundi near enough to last. 400 metres out in the northerly. Maracino's just in front. tackled by Light Infantryman, going up very quickly, looking for the way clear. Bustlers behind them from Let's Gallivant. Storyville cuts the corner. Down the outside, New Marion, Attrition, and then Admiration Express, Sox Nation. Light Infantryman storms to the lead at the 200. Light Infantryman races clear. Admiration Express is charging at the rate of knots. Light Infantryman's in front, and he'll cling on to win the Northerly. Light Infantryman beat Admiration Express. Third of Photo, Sox Nation, Bustler. Mojo Rhythm was behind them, followed then by Zip Away, New Marion, Curramundi, River Rubicon, Super Smick, Never Got Warm, followed by
Light Infantryman, Kieran Maher, Ethan Brown, Take a Bow. He was the beaten favourite in the Railway Stakes only 2 weeks ago. He didn't have a great deal of luck on that occasion, but Ethan Brown
the race.
Well, I've thought Iracine was, and at 24s and 5.9, the French have got a really good record in this race. So.
And his Derby run suggests that might be the way to go with him.
Quite possibly. I mean, I would be surprised if they did want to do other.
At the 1.5 miles, racing in the bars. And it's a good line away. No early speed from Iracine. He's being hustled along, but he's gone back to last, and Ensued began well. Kaying Generation with pace, and outside of them is Last City Blanche Predaria punching up against the rail. Dubayona gets over behind them, and wider as Luxembourg without a fight down on the fence. Marquisat's wide is last of all. 1,000 metres left to go, and the leader is still Predaria. Half a length over Kaying Generation. Without a fight has crept even closer now without having to do any work. The Australians running third. Fourth and pushed along Last City Blanche, and then came Giavolotto. Luxembourg doing it tough. Ensued next. Ridden along Marquisat from 5G Patch against the rail. Then Dubayona. Continuous. Stellenbosch starts a run, and Iracine's back to last. Predaria's had a charm run. He leads in the bars by a length over Without a Fight, who's come to second and trying to push Kaying Generation out of the way. Stellenbosch, Luxembourg join in, and then came Marquisat and Ensued. It's the filly for Japan. Stellenbosch taking the lead. Luxembourg, Marquisat, Giavolotto hitting a gut next to the inside. Giavolotto has run past them all. 2 over Stellenbosch and getting home well. Dubayona, what a ride. O'Sheen Murphy. Giavolotto won the bars and beat Dubayona and Stellenbosch. Then came Ensued Iracine. Next in 5G Patch, Marquisat. Luxembourg. Enjoy the retirement paddock, old boy. From Continuous, La City Blanche Predaria. Without a Fight had the perfect trip. He stopped. He beat one in, Kaying Generation.
Tiny little loosen up.
Here on the telecast, Jenny, is he hard to go past the favourite Kaying Rising?
Look, there are some really seriously lovely horses here. The Sprinter.
See Kaying Rising break his own track record here this afternoon.
Oh, it's not out of the question, Tom. The time is 1-0. Has got 1.1 and 1 Kaying Rising. Place money for Satono Rave. Barrier number 11, Kaying Rising, light blue, red sleeves, orange chevron, yellow cap, and he's about to move in. All clear flag from the back of the gates. They're racing. He was about third or fourth last out, Kaying Rising. California Spangle flying ace away fast, but here he comes. Kaying Rising cruises up outside of California Spangle, and they share the lead. Victor the winner, Recommendation the next two from Satono Rave. Starluster's up ahead of him from Lucky With You. Lugal wide, then came Toshin Macau, Helios Express, Invincible Sage. How Deep Is Your Love and Beauty Waves as last of all. It's California Spangle leading, 3 wide Victor the winner. And right there between them, Kaying Rising, and he relaxed beautifully. Then came Flying Ace, Recommendation, Starlust and Lugal in a line of 4 from Satono Rave, Lucky With You, Toshin Macau, and then came Invincible Sage. California Spangle has it by a neck. Kaying Rising sitting pretty on his outside. Zach asked him to go now. He put half a length on California Spangle. Satono Rave, Invincible Sage, How Deep Is Your Love? It's Kaying Rising in front. He's too clear. Satono Rave, Helios Express going great races. Kaying Rising, he'll win it. Kaying Rising has beaten home either Helios Express or Satono Rave. Then California Spangle, Beauty Waves, How Deep Is Your Love? Toshin Macau, fly to the winner. He wins it, but it's only by a length. 1.1 and 1. When he ran to the front, you're thinking, times and margins, please, judge. There's going to be panels on these. Second, is a photo.
Tiny little loosen up in front as well, and I've noted that this campaign with him. So under his coat, he looks immaculate in that respect. He does look particularly...
No soon because they're racing. Lazat missed it by a length, Antino missed it by 1, and Galaxy Patch is going to drag straight back to last from 14. At the other end, it's Voyage Bubble, Beauty Eternal and Gentar Mantar between them. And Beauty Eternal takes it up. Gentar Mantar third, Cheng Cheng Glory is fourth, and fifth is Happy Together. 3 wide Red Lion from Docklands, Lazat 3 wide following Red Lion. Then came Ramadan. Next is Taj Dragon from Antino, Soul Rush Galaxy Patch, and a length away last of all is Beauty Joy. Beauty Eternal the leader though, half a length over Voyage Bubble. Gentar Mantar's doing it tough, 3 wide, and Cheng Cheng Glory's had a good trip. He's now fourth on the rail from Happy Together. Red Lion, Lazat, Docklands, Taj Dragon and Antino. Beauty Eternal, Voyage Bubble square off in the lead. 3 lengths to Cheng Cheng Glory. Then came Red Lion, Happy Together and Soul Rush. Voyage Bubble is the leader. He's gone clear of Beauty Eternal. 2 lengths then to Soul Rush. Cheng Cheng Glory. It's Voyage Bubble the leader. He's 3 in front over Beauty Eternal, Soul Rush and Beauty Joy. Voyage Bubble's going to see it out, and he's going to be the king of the mile. Voyage Bubble has beaten Soul Rush, Beauty Joy, Cheng Cheng Glory, Galaxy Patch. Then came Happy Together, Red Lion, Lazat, Beauty Eternal, Taj Dragon, Docklands, Antino, Gentar Mantar. 5 minutes for J-Mac. There's one done. Romantic Warrior. He's next. Mind
Rose. Well, here's another one, Romantic Warrior. And I mean, to what extent, Jenny, do you think he's chiselled himself into the hearts of the locals even more by taking Hong Kong racing outside these borders?
Oh, look, tremendously. Yeah, look, to take him down to Australia, he was beaten first up down there. He ran 4th, and then to come out and win the Cox Plate. You know, everyone wants to win the Cox Plate. It's very exclusive. Comes back here, goes over to Japan and wins as well. I mean, what he did last year was phenomenal, and I just think he's...
He's gone in Tom Peter Lau, Sir Alex Ferguson, both trackside. Romantic Warrior. We're underway in the Cup, and he jumped well, Romantic Warrior, and he's going to lead them down past the winning post again. Wingspans come up alongside to have a look for the lead. Encountered Tastiera wide going into the first turn. Nimble Nimbus down on the rail from straight arrow. Tastiera is running second. Encountered run of the race third, and Romantic Warrior fourth at the 1,000-metre mark. Nimble Nimbus on the fence. Spirit Dancer 3 wide with straight Aaron splitting horses. Next is Liberty Island from Caliph, the Foxes, and last of all to turn off the back straight is Content. Wingspan lead, 7.50 to go in the Cup. He's out by 2. Tastiera for Japan second, Encountered third. Fourth, Romantic Warrior. Spirit Dancer next. Then came Nimble Nimbus and Straight Aaron. A length to Liberty Island from Caliph and the Foxes. And a length away last of all is Content. 500 metres to go. And leading for home, Wingspan. Tastiera, Romantic Warrior. He's come up outside the 3 from Spirit Dancer and Liberty Island wider out. Tastiera leads. Romantic Warrior. He's a neck on the outside. Liberty Island 3 lengths away. Romantic Warrior. He's taken over. 1 length Tastiera. Liberty Island continues to run on, but it's the Warrior. Romantic Warrior. 2 on Liberty Island. It's history at Sha Tin. 3 Cups. Romantic Warrior beat home Liberty Island and Tastiera. The Foxes, Straight Aaron. Then came Content Encountered. Romantic Warrior. James McDonald at 1.1 and 1. Peter Lau has himself a wonder horse. Danny Shum is a wonder trainer. He's peaked him again. He can run anywhere. He peaks him. Liberty Island's run on well for second.
Are in Sydney, but it's a really good incentive, and that's why you're seeing horses like Gringotts on that path being able to run in races like the Big Dance, which was $3 million. He's now in the Ingham. If he wins the Big Dance...
No better time to race horses than in Australia right now. Now, on from $750,000 to $2 million. It is an absolute gun race in the future. You got a horse like Port Lockroy who says, I'm not going to stay in Perth for the Northerly at Group 1 level. I'm going to come back home because my target
Joe, so 420 about Gringotts, who is the favourite. He opened as short as 360 earlier on in the week, and the tab traders just happy to risk him a little bit. He is the most popular runner. He holds close to 40% of the overall investment now. We're seeing good support for Private Eye. It's not on your screen there, but I can tell you Private Eye is $6, second favourite, as much as $7.50 was bet this morning. And then we get to the likes of Port Lockroy, who's a $13 chance. I can tell you there's some money for... Look, Gringotts is the favourite. We are risking him a little bit. Private Eye, best back to beat him in Stapati.
$1 million in prize money. Capacity field at 20, and the gates are back. They're off and racing, and Nash came out running on Private Eye, and Robusto began sharply. And Robusto's going to hold out Private Eye early, and Gringotts is pushing forward as well. Berry's going to take the lead again on Gringotts from Private Eye. Now, I'm in to win was very sluggish out, and Winona Costin sends it tearing around the outside of the field. My goodness, this has done some work, and I'm in to win's going now. Followed by Robusto on the rails, 2 for the back, 2. Stepati is pulling hard on the outside of Coast Watch. Rustic still well positioned midfield. Then Poison Chalice from Sadaki. Port Lockroy buried down on the fence. They're followed further back by Lion Draw on a wide path. Then came in Cap from Leckfart. Superazzi's covering a bit of ground as well. Followed by Waterford. Then Spangler, Mighty Ulysses. Well back New Energy. And Osipenko's last of all. 600 to go, and I'm in to win. A length and a half clear from Gringotts, ridden with Patience. Then came Estadio Mestea. Robusto next on the rails. Followed by Private Eye. Coast Watch close to heels. Then Step Hardy. Zadaki's pulling out from Lion's Roar. And Superazzi in the pink jacket getting right to the outside. I'm in to win, worked awfully hard to lead, and Gringotts just cruised up on the outside. Gringotts takes the lead. Robusto's poking through. Then came Step Hardy running on well. A wider out is Cap with a big run. Step Hardy moves up, and Step Hardy joined Robusto in the lead. Step Hardy and Robusto. Robusto's tough. Robusto wouldn't give in, and Robusto won the Ingham, beating Step Hardy, and Cap finished in third. Ooh, Osipenko, that's been a big run rattling home at the end. Then Coast Watch followed by Poison.
What a win. Robusto wins for Tim Clark, and Bjorn Baker wins another feature. Isn't he stable in red hot form? He gets a double. Hardy runs second. NCAP runs third. Private Eye runs fourth. There were some unlucky runs, but there was one that was right there on speed, doing it the hard way. And I'm forbidden, but I will. Beautifully selected by Lizzie Gels at 30 to 1. Well done, you've had some day.
Oh, that was...
7+ Sport Gold Rush over 1,400 metres. Weight for age, $1.5 million. Scott, and what a field we have assembled here.
And for the first time, the Gold Rush will stay in WA. Lockie, the inaugural race won by the astrologist, Willie Pike, and then last year it was Munamek and Damien Oliver when he made it the last 3 winners on Damien Oliver, the Gold.
Sport Gold Rush run for $1.5 million. And the punters are very, very keen again on Super Smink here. Sminky's into $3.90, which is an incredible push late for the horse, followed by Western Empire in the second line of betting here at $6.40. But the big nibble late's been on magnificent.
1,400. Racing now in the Gold Rush, missing at Triple Missile, roped them in, went straight back after the start. Red Can Man, one of the first to get going, Comfort Me. Ripcord came out brilliantly, and he's firing across, sailing across now to join Red Can Man soon after the start, with Valor Road making a line of 3, pushing up near the middle. A length and a half, Tin Rocks also covering ground, wind of the line going up, zip away from Super Smink, Western Empire, Mojo Rhythm, Triple Missile and Aztec Ruler, and roped them in, found himself stone motherless. They go by the 750. Red Can Man held the front. Valor Road is running second. And then came Ripcord on the outside. A little deep though at the 600 from Comfort Me. The middle Hot Z is just starting to drift up on the rails well. 3/4 Bustler ridden along behind the Magnificent Andy's in the middle. Zip away, coiled up down near the inside, looking for the way clear as well. Chris Parnham on Super Smink trying to find a bit of opening. And then Western Empire. Valor Road hits the front. They went to the 300 from Comfort Me. Behind them, Hot Z picking his way through. Zip away, getting up on the inside. Western Empire. He's launching a mighty run on the outside. Western Empire surges to the lead. Draws away. Western Empire takes out the Gold Rush. Close for second. Magnificent Andy. Super Smink. Triple Missile. Roped them in from last. Charging down the outside. Comfort Me. Aztec Ruler behind them from Bustler. Mojo Rhythm. Zip away. Then came is Search and Rocks.
of our Western Empire salutes in the 7+ Sport Gold Rush, the 3rd edition, and what a ride. He was 3 and 4 deep with cover, just had a lovely track into the race, and when Billy Egan said go, the horse just absolutely exploded late.
That's exactly the ride that we were after from Billy Egan, 3 and 4 deep with cover, and then get him to the
of our Western Empire salutes in the 7+ Sport Gold Rush, the 3rd edition, and what a ride. He was 3 and 4 deep with cover, just had a lovely track into the race, and when Billy Egan said go, the horse just absolutely exploded late.
That's exactly the ride that we were after from Billy Egan, 3 and 4 deep with cover, and then get him to the